Hey y'all, I'm I-78. Happy Friday. Welcome to Friday evening. We are showing the Donald Trump rally in Bozeman, Montana, live and in process. So sit back, relax, and let's see what's going on.
Our country's faith, both in the House, the Senate, and the President of the United States.
Hey Mona, how are you? Come on, what happened? Got to love the internet.
I gotta tell you, there are no finer people in the world to determine our country's fate than Montana.
I'm tired myself. Lord have mercy.
And lastly, stolen valor. Waltz. And I tell you, she picked the only candidate that can outshine him. But as a leader, as a military man, there's a commitment. You commit to your troops, you commit to your nation. And in time of need, you go to the front line, you run the sound of the guns. That's what warriors do. You don't hide, you don't cower. In Montana, we're going to side everyone, Donald J. Trump. God bless everyone.
Let's go, Montana! All this aggravation ain't satisfaction in me. A little more fight, a little less fun, a little less fight, a little more spark. Close your mouth and open up your heart and make it satisfy me. Satisfy me, baby.
Don't get on my nerve. Hey Eric, how are you?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage U.S. Senator Steve Daines.
Ain't America beautiful? This place that we call home. Give us your time, your pull, your yearning to be free forevermore. Ain't America beautiful? Ain't America beautiful?
Hey, I've got some good news, everybody. I was just in touch with President Trump's team. He is en route right now to the field house.
He has some technical difficulties on his plane, so he's.
Well, you know, I'm a lifelong Bozeman kid. I went to kindergarten through college here. In fact, I walked across this stage once upon a time as a proud MSU Bobcat. But tonight, I want to welcome you to John Tester's retirement party. Now, there's been a lot of polls conducted. Anybody here been contacted contacted by a pollster? Let's take a poll here tonight. We've got some decibel meters that can measure applause. So let me ask you a question. You can respond to this poll by your applause. If the election were held tonight, how many of you would vote for Donald J. Trump for president? USA. That's just good for the soul, isn't it? Get that out of here, you bet. And I got to tell you something. I don't know about you. I'm sick and tired of seeing men competing against women in sports. Well, let me in on a little secret. Out here in Montana, we know the difference between a bull and a cow, don't we? We are 88 days from the most consequential election in your lifetime and mine. It is time to elect Donald Trump as president of the United States. It is time to fire Chuck Schumer. And we do that, by the way, when we send Tim Sheehy back to the United States Senate. Now, I got a trivia question for you here tonight. You may not be aware of this, but I've served in the United States Senate thanks to your support since 2015. And I was the first Republican elected to this U.S. Senate seat in 100 years in Montana, by the way. We did that. But here's a question. Who recruited Kamala Harris to run for the United States Senate in California back in 2016? The answer is Jon Tester. Let me allow you to see another little inside baseball fact in Washington. You know, when we have a tie vote in the U.S. Senate, who comes down to break that tie? The Vice President of the United States comes down and casts the tie-breaking vote. Do you realize out of 47 vice presidents in this nation's history, Kamala Harris has now broken more ties than any other vice president in the nation's history? She just surpassed John Calhoun and John Adams. They both served 8-year terms, and she got her done in 3.5 years. But let me tell you something about that. In every one of those 33 tie-breaking votes, which were very consequential, Jon Tester supported Kamala Harris in all 33, and Steve Daines opposed her in the other 33. What are some of those votes? What are some of those votes? If you want to add up the bar tab of crazy spending in Washington, we had 2 tie-breaking votes. One was that crazy $1.9 trillion stimulus package when there was already $1 trillion of unspent COVID money on the sidelines. They jammed that through, and Jon Tester and Kamala Harris voted for it. Steve Daines voted against it. And that, we warned the left about this. That was an ignite inflation. And guess what? It did. And right here in Montana, sadly, the most expensive vehicle that many Montanans drive right now is their grocery cart. And let me tell you something. If you like San Francisco politics, you're going to love Kamala Harris. She is right out of central casting at San Francisco. And we aren't going to let that happen, are we? Not on our watch. They're trying to cover up Kamala Harris's past statements, her votes. She said she wants to ban fracking. Let me tell you something. President Trump and Tim Sheehy, they're going to drill, baby, drill. How about the Second Amendment? Who in this house tonight cares about their Second Amendment rights? Well, let me tell you something. The NRA has given Jon Tester an F, and that does not stand for fantastic, I can tell you that. Contrast that to Tim Sheehy, who the NRA has given an A rating and will protect yours and mine Second Amendment rights. Kamala Harris wants Jon Tester's vote to decriminalize border crossing, and if you can believe this, to abolish ICE. Let me tell you something.
Do that.
We've got an alternative because Tim Sheehy and President Trump are going to secure the border, and we're going to build the wall. Let me explain a couple other things here from Washington, D.C. Jon Tester voted for every single one of Joe Biden's liberal judicial nominees. Let me tell you why that's a huge problem. When you vote in the U.S. Senate for a federal judge, that is a lifetime appointment. Mm-hmm. We now have 6 grandchildren. You think a lot about your grandkids on these terrible liberal judges that are being put on the bench today because of Jon Tester, Kamala Harris, and Joe Biden. I will tell you something. President Trump and Tim Sheehy, they're going to put judges on the bench that will defend our precious Constitution. Now, I'm going to share another fact that's not being talked a lot in Jon Tester's commercials. Jon Tester voted to impeach President Trump twice. Well, let me give you some good news. Tim Sheehy's got President Trump's back. So here's what it comes down to. The nation is watching Montana. They are counting on us 88 days away in this most consequential election. If we are going to take this country back, we must elect President Trump, and we must elect Tim Sheehy to support President Trump back in Washington. This is the fight I'm focused on. Let me tell you something tonight. I've been working close with President Trump for a long time. He's a dear friend of mine. We stay in close contact. And I can tell you, we're very thankful tonight that of all the places President Trump could be, he's going to be with us here in Montana. Now, some of you might know I'm also good friends with his son, Donald Trump Jr. That guy knows how to shoot, by the way. He knows how to fish, by the way. And I'm sure we'll get Don Jr. out here to Montana before this election. But here's the bottom line. It's not that complicated. We need 2 Senate seats to win back majority control and to fire Chuck Schumer, okay? We need 2. Now, I've got some good news tonight, is we have won West Virginia. Joe Manchin retired. We've got Governor Jim Justice and Baby Dog running in West Virginia, and he is going to be the next U.S. Senator from West Virginia. The Democrats have surrendered on that seat, so there's one for the good guys. But guess where we go next? Right here in Montana. When we elect Tim Sheehy, we have won back majority control of the United States Senate.
Don't look like that's gonna be hard.
So this is going to be about votes and getting everybody here in Montana out to vote. You heard the president earlier mess. We got to swamp the vote. Vote. We got to get out and get our people to vote. This for all the marbles. It's right here in Montana. Because working together, we will send Donald J. Trump back to the White House. We will send Kamala Harris and Chuck Schumer packing. We're going to send Tim Sheehy to the United States Senate, and we're going to make America great again. God bless you.
Ain't America beautiful? This place that we call home. Give us your time, your pour, your yearning to be free forevermore. Ain't America beautiful?
Quick, what do these 3 criminals all have in common? Edwin Ramos, an illegal immigrant and MS-13 gang member, robbed a pregnant woman, was released, and later brutally gunned down a father and both his sons in San Francisco. Roni Aguilera, an illegal immigrant from Honduras, was arrested, released, and went on to murder a 14-year-old boy with a sword. Alexander Izagir, an illegal immigrant convicted of multiple crimes, was released, given job training by the city, and later robbed the woman in an assault that left her with a fractured skull. What do these criminals all have in common? Each of them was put back on the street by Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris has vowed to defund the police, eliminate cash bail, and grant citizenship to millions of unvetted illegal immigrants. These are dangerously liberal policies that benefit illegal immigrants and criminals, not us. These are criminals for Kamala.
Damn.
Bozeman, Montana. I'm Vanessa Broussard along with Mike Fortin. We're having a great time. What a great pre-program that was. Montana has wonderful people here, Mike, and they are spirited. They love their state, and it's very clear that they love their country as well.
Yeah, it's really just, when God and country is mentioned, the entire building has just erupted and cheers, and there's a real sense of just community here and love for everything. It's the community here is just fantastic.
Yes, a lot of pride here in Montana. You can feel that in the building. It's definitely in the air. Hey, President Trump is on his way right now, as you may have known if you've seen social media. It's all over social media that he did have to make an emergency landing. Trump Force One did in Billings, Montana, and he is now on his way to Bozeman. So he's on his way. Just had a couple of little problems with the airplane, but that's okay. President Trump is safe and sound. I've had several people text me asking me if he's okay. President Trump's okay. The plane is okay. Just had to make a quick stop to make sure everyone is okay, and he's on his way here right now. But President Trump does it again.
Yeah. Just they, I guess they grabbed another plane.
Yeah.
Secret Service secured everything, and they are on their way. They've already landed. They're on the ground, so it looks like they are on their way here, and it's going to shape up to be one heck of a night.
It really is. And looking around, there's still people outside waiting to get in, but almost every seat right now is filled. So we're almost to capacity here in this arena on the campus of Montana State University. We want to remind you that you can donate to keep us on the campaign trail by going to rsbnetwork.com. Again, that's rsbnetwork.com. You can donate monthly. You can donate just one time. Whatever you feel like you can do, please do. We thank everyone who has donated in the past and those who will donate tonight. It helps us to stay right here on the campaign trail. And where will the campaign trail take us next? We just don't know yet, but that news will be here soon because the Trump campaign is busy. They're working on it. And as soon as we know, we'll let you know.
Okay.
By the way, if you're on social media, we are inching closer to that milestone on X. Last I checked and heard is that we are 100 followers away from 1 million.
Oh,
so
wow.
if you're on X and you're not following RSBN, go do that right now because that is our goal tonight is to hit 1 million followers. So close, so close. Make sure you share this. Make sure you tell your friends to follow us because we want to hit that milestone.
That's, 1 million followers. That is quite a milestone. We're 100 subscribers away, so, help us out. It would be amazing to do that tonight here on a Friday night with President Trump. And it's something that we're really looking forward to. And thank you guys for continuing to allow us to do this and bring President Trump to you everywhere he goes.
And we do have breaking news since we've been talking about it. We have hit 1 million followers. So thank you to everyone following us on X. We appreciate it. Yes, we appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's keep the numbers going. But right now we are going to celebrate that 1 million. We appreciate everyone who's been on the road with us since the beginning. We get a lot of that outside when we're talking to the crowd, people who say they've been with us since the beginning. We thank you for that. And again, thank you to all of our followers. Keep spreading the word. Keep getting the word out because, unfortunately, a lot of people still don't know that there's other networks other than your mainstream.
Yeah, and it's one thing, what you see on mainstream media may not always be the truth. I can tell you here, looking around, there is maybe 30 seats left, and there's still a stream of people coming in, and there's still roughly, well, I can't say exactly, but thousands of people outside.
Yeah.
I just took a walk around during our break, and there's thousands of people outside. So there's roughly 30 seats, and there's streams of people coming in. So, there is certainly no deficit of people here at Trump rallies. It's 100% packed wall to wall.
Every time, all the rallies, the same story all the time. It's because the people love President Trump. They know that President Trump loves us and that he is going to have our back. So we definitely have his backs. The polls are looking good for President Trump. Kamala Harris is hoping that her new announcement will give her some energy, a boost into November. hoping that this honeymoon phase will last. But people are not stupid. They are very smart. America is smart. They know that they were better off under Trump than they have been under the Biden-Harris administration. So why have Harris another 4 years when she hasn't done anything for the last 3.5?
Yeah, I mean, she's been completely absent from the public view for the last 3.5 years. And now all of a sudden, in the past 20 or so days, she's now become the darling of the Democratic Party, whereas 2 weeks prior to that, they didn't even want her on the ticket. So it's surprising that, how mainstream media can kind of shift the narrative, very quickly and, being bought and paid for the Harris campaign. So now, we go into this, and I can tell you, I don't want guns taken away. People need their guns. And to announce, I don't know how anyone would announce, hey, we're going to take your guns away. It's certainly not something anyone here would want to vote for on their platform, So I think that, as she continues to go and as her honeymoon phase wears off, I think we're going to really see, what the Harris campaign is all about, as if we don't already know. But I think we're going to continue to see, that decline in her honeymoon phase.
Oh, absolutely. It's new right now. It's fresh. So she's hoping that she can ride this in through November, but I don't believe that that's going to be the case. We want to remind you that, a lot of people are struggling right now. A lot of people can't pay for their food, their gas, their power bill, water bills, even just a roof over their head. But that's where American Financing comes in. They can help you save an average of $864 a month. How nice does that sound? And if you do the math, yeah, I would too. If you do the math, that's like a $10,000 raise a year. So let them help you. Make sure you contact them today. That number is on your screen, 888-402-0299. Credit card interest rates are insane. Most of us are still carrying a balance on those. People are living in credit card debts. So if you're only paying the minimum every month on those credit cards, it will take you years to pay that off. But American Finance, they can help you. Again, if you own a home, contact them today. Our friends over at American Financing, 888-402-0299. That email address as well, that website, that is americanfinancing.net/RSBN. americanfinancing.net/RSBN. $864 a month. We could all take that.
Can you text me that later?
I sure will.
I think I need to make that call.
Yes, absolutely. A lot of people do. So get on board, contact them. Don't wait. They're waiting for you. They want to help you. And that's what's so important, is that there are companies out there who want to help you. And American Financing is one of those companies. They know that American people are struggling right now. And so they're saying, hey, we're here to help.
Yeah, and God bless any company out there that's willing to help us, save some money any way we can. And I love what I just heard. The most expensive vehicle right now that Americans are driving is their grocery cart. And that's very true, especially for those of us parents who are trying to provide for 2, 3, 4 children, on any kind of budget. I can tell you, when we go to the grocery store, we may spend $100 or $200. We fill up our refrigerator, and if your kids are anything like mine, in 2 days, the food is gone, and I go back, I go into the closet and there's just empty boxes everywhere, so we're making 2 and 3 trips to the grocery store, and, we're spending untold amounts right now of money just to feed our kids every week. So, any company that's willing to help Americans save money is certainly okay in my book.
President Trump wants to help Americans save money as well, not only just with the economy, but also huge. I did this at dinner last night when I paid for my dinner, no tax on tips. So I did what's trending and wrote on there, your tips won't be taxed if President Trump's in office. Make sure to vote for President Trump. But that's true, Mike. You gift someone that money. That is not part of their salary. So therefore, this is a gift, and that gift should not be taxed.
No, I 100% agree. And I think, anybody who's in the service industry now that's relying on tips and being taxed on that is just, how can you go wrong? How can you go wrong? How can you vote for anyone else when, President Trump is willing to give you the money that you've earned, that you're being gifted, by your customers. So it's, 100% President Trump is really just trying to give back to everyday Americans
I was in Houston last week for a Senator Ted Cruz event and had lunch at a restaurant in Houston, and the server did not even know about that. Because, look, let's face it, a lot of people don't follow politics like we do. They don't know about the policies that are being planned or promised to us. And so the waitress had no idea. So if you know a waitress or someone in the service industry who they live off tips, let them know that President Trump will not tax them on their tips, because we know that and we talk about it all the time, but a lot of people still don't know that that's the case. Also, President Trump promising that he will not tax Social Security. Again, seniors have done enough. They have paid their dues. Why tax them on Social Security?
Well, I'm no spring chicken. And, I know when it comes time for Social Security, I don't want to have to pay taxes on that either. I've put in my dues. I've worked hard my entire life. And I know when that time comes, I'd like to know that, the money I've worked hard and earned and put in, I can get back.
Yeah. And President Trump says that. 1, this is your money. 2, you earned it. And 3, you should keep it. That's coming from President Trump. And his team. And that's absolutely true. You pay taxes your entire life. This is money that you sock away. They take it out of your paycheck. And when it comes to retirement, they want to tax you again. That's just stealing your money.
Yeah, it's obviously we know now. It's tax upon tax upon tax. So anywhere that President Trump is able to help everyday Americans save money, reduce taxes, not tax income that you're getting is something that we can all benefit from, without a doubt.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, I'm Vanessa Broussard. We have Mike Fortin here. We are having a blast here in Montana, a beautiful state. Nice day today. The crowd has been wonderful. A lot of people having a Trump tailgate party, but they're inside right now. Crowds are still coming inside. We're going to let you see the crowd, pan the crowd for a little bit, and kind of enjoy the views here from Montana on this Friday night. Thanks for being here with us on this Friday. I know that there's a lot of things you could be doing on the weekend, but what's more fun than a Trump rally?
I got to say, this is fantastic. This is one heck of a Friday night. And, the crowd is filling in. People are walking with nachos and food, and it's truly a family event. So people are having a blast. It's about 10 minutes to 8 o'clock, so we're expecting President Trump any minute. So Stay with us, and we'll be back shortly.
Yeah, absolutely. So enjoy the crowd. But while we watch the crowd, I want to remind you to go to stickermule.com. That's where we have all kinds of merchandise for you. So go to stickermule.com. A lot of the proceeds go to RSBN when you do that, and type in the RSBN code. So Sticker Mule, you'll find hats, you'll find keychains, you'll find all kinds of cool gadgets for you and your family and your friends, your kiddos as they head back to school. That is Sticker Mule.
It seems like they just got out of school
right
and
now.
that ain't going back.
Sticker Mule, get your
I'll be confused.
merchandise, your RSBN merchandise. Stickermule.com/RSBN is the direct link. Stickermule.com/RSBN. So whether you want to show your grab some cool gear, that's the site for you. Okay, yeah. We'll be right back. We'll show them the crowd. Enjoy the crowd as we wait for President Trump.
going on? I've been watching the Olympics. It's not over, but it is. Hey, Frank. True. Yeah, that really working. That was saying. Yeah, I just want to hear some policy or something I can do something with. Like I don't, my guns are fine. I don't need to go to the abortion clinic. What else she got? Just what's up about what she running on? I don't need any of that. Give me something I can use. And what's that plus up people? We here to get some action. Hello, how are you? Mm. This is from the Democratic Party. Listen, I just think that give me something I can work with. 'Cause everything she talk about, I don't need. Ooh. Oh. Y'all, this track and field for the United States been a whole situation. Been a whole situation. Mm. Y'all got the wave going on? So I have never been to Montana. Have you? Well, this is like Kamala has so many people buying out actors and being shown for support. The one get on stage that is set up for her benefit. It's a bought out campaign. Have you
An
been seeing the
attorney
video?
from here in Montana. So good to see
Yeah.
you, David. How are you?
It's so good to be here. It's so awesome to be on RSBN. I love watching RSBN, and it's an honor that you'd be interviewing me.
Well, thank you. Glad you love us. We love everyone in Montana, too. Talk about the atmosphere tonight and how great this is for the state.
The atmosphere is incredible. It feels like a rock concert. Montana is so in favor of Donald Trump. The only reason that John Tester wins in this state to the U.S. Senate is because he lies to the people, and he's backed up by the media, and he pretends to be a conservative. He pretends to fight against the Democrats. And if you want open borders, then vote for John Tester. But I'm a fifth-generation Montanan. My family homesteaded in Montana in the 1890s, and I'm going to do everything I can to save this state and this country.
Yes, and I can tell you're very enthusiastic about it. You're speaking from the heart. And everyone here that I spoke to today feels the same way that you do. Because, yes, we're here to support President Trump. But here in Montana, there are some Senate and state representative seats up for grabs, or House seats up for grabs, I should say, that are very important in this election. Let's talk about those seats.
So the congressional seats are incredibly important, but actually in Montana, we have a really big problem with our Supreme Court because our Supreme Court is invalidating all of the laws that our legislature is passing, including voter ID, bans on ballot harvesting. They actually had paid ballot harvesting and said that has to be allowed in this state. We have paid ballot harvesting in this state, even though the Montana legislature and the Montana governor said, no, we don't want it. Our Supreme Court said you have to allow it. So we have paid ballot harvesting here.
That's scary.
It's horrible, and I'm doing everything I can to fight against it. I'm live streaming on Twitch at LectureFan, LCTRFAN. I'm on Montana Talks Radio, and I'm a private practice litigator attorney where I'll sue anybody if they want to try to mess with our stuff. I'll defend our election integrity laws in court if it takes it. I'll do whatever it takes.
I love the fight in you. It's because of people like you that we keep fighting because we feed off of each other. And so people here want to fight as well. How important, going back to the congressional seats, because that's a big reason why President Trump is here tonight. How important is that for Montana? Because we just need a few more seats to take the Senate, and Montana could be that state to help us do that.
Yeah, I think the people of Montana recognize that Donald Trump is going to win this state, and so we're focused on John Tester and defeating these Democrats in these other congressional races, which they're radicals. They're all radicals. They just lie and pretend they're not radicals, but they really are. You know, deep down, they're really radicals. These are people that support Kamala Harris. They want to get rid of fossil fuels. They want to mandate electric vehicles. They want to force inappropriate topics on little kids. They want to be like, it's just crazy.
It really is crazy. And you know,
that's what I'm trying to figure out. They keep talking about, you know what I'm saying,
this red state, which is great.
Kind of stuff. You
voted Trump in 2016, 2020. We know feeling very good about 2024. But when you talk about the issues that you're seeing here in the state, it's the same issues that are going on around the rest of the country. It's very scary to think that Montana is seeing those same issues.
It really is. And we just have the Democrats in here that they pretend to be Montana Democrats, and then they go to D.C. and they vote with the Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi and Kamala Harris. and then the mainstream media covers for them, which is why I value so much what you do and what I do on AM talk radio in Montana, you know.
And so we have to get the rhinos out of the office because they make these promises when they're campaigning, but they get to Washington and they vote with Kamala and they vote with your Pelosi's and they vote with Biden, and they're not voting for what the Montana people that they voted in. We are the people. They are serving us. And they forget about that when they get to Washington.
Oh, totally. And I mean, even Kamala Harris is now completely 180'd on all of her positions. All we have to do, I think, as Republicans and conservatives, is go back and roll the tape from 2020 when Kamala, remember that in that debate when they asked, raise your hand if you want the American taxpayer to pay for health care for illegal aliens, and Kamala Harris raised her hand, and frankly, so did Joe Biden.
And we're seeing that. We're seeing that in California under Governor Newsom. We're seeing that all over the country with this administration. The Biden-Harris administration puts these illegals before the American people.
Absolutely, yeah. And like I said, I think what you guys are doing is so important. I'm on Twitch at Lecture Fan. I think RS Dan should get on Twitch someday, but you guys might get thrown off because it's a super woke platform.
So you know that's not, what's not is Truth Social.
Truth Social. Are you guys, do they have video live streaming on Truth Social?
I have to check that out, but RSBN is on Truth Social. That's President Trump's platform. They do have a new TV live streaming service that they just rolled out, so make sure you watch that as well. But Truth
Anybody been on Truth Social? Because I haven't.
You need to make sure you get on there.
I'm on Truth Social, Lecture Fan, LCTR fan. It's Lecture Fan because I like lectures. I like college lectures. I'm a lawyer, so you know what's great about being a lawyer, too, is I can say, as a lawyer, that our university systems are straight up indoctrination camps. I'm just lucky that I made it through the indoctrination camps, coming out even more conservative. And I remember in law school reading those Supreme Court cases and finally truly understanding a deep meaning of constitutionalism. And what's sad is how our Constitution has been destroyed over time by our Supreme Court. We finally have a good Supreme Court right now. Thank you to President Donald Trump.
Absolutely. Thank goodness. And the left hates it because he put in these great Supreme Court justices. As an attorney, watching all of these lawsuits against President Trump and these accusations after accusations against him, what are your thoughts on that, you know, from a legal perspective?
So I'm a true believer in America's judiciary and an independent and strong judiciary. That's in our Constitution for a reason. And so it really, really bugs me to see our system abused like that, and it's being abused. And what's really dangerous about it is if we had a good court system and a good prosecution system, then you would have the public that would respect the courts and respect the rule of law. What the Democrats are doing, the Democrats are fundamentally destroying the foundations of our society and the foundations of public respect and public confidence in the rule of law and in our court systems. And that's a very, very dangerous thing. And if Donald Trump doesn't win this election, God forbid, if Tim Sheehy doesn't win, if the Republicans don't win, they are going to engage in a full out attack on the Supreme Court and on the rule of law. And I don't know if we can come back from it if we don't win this election.
You're absolutely right. What kind of law and order will we have in this country if Donald Trump does not win? They're going to get rid of everything. And he says this all the time. He says, they're not coming after me. They're coming after you. I'm just standing in the way. We are all in danger. Every single one of us, you, me, everyone here, they're coming after us.
Oh, yeah. And that's why I respect you and everybody else in conservative media, because we're putting our personal well-being on the line. We really are. Because these Democrats, a lot of them are sick, and a lot of them would really like to do us harm. And they would like to see us lose our jobs. They want to see us get audited by the IRS. They want a lot of them said if you didn't get the vaccine, you shouldn't even get medical treatment. That is disgusting. That's evil.
And they call us weird.
Right, and we're the weird ones.
We're the weird ones. Okay.
It's insane. Look around. This is not weird. This is awesome.
It's awesome. It's a bunch of patriots, American patriots who love our country. We have common sense. We love our Lord. We love our freedoms. We love our family, faith, freedom, family, country. We love it, and we just want it safe. You're fighting hard for that, too. We appreciate that with you. How can people follow you?
So I'm Lecture Fan, LCTR Fan, LCTRFAN. It's a weird name, but I'm live on Twitch doing politics streams on Twitch. I tweet all the time. I'm a fifth generation Montanan. If you want the conservative Montana perspective from an attorney, I'm the guy.
There you go. Follow him. He knows his stuff. Fighting for Montana, fighting for the country. So good to see you. Thanks for stopping by, and thanks for watching
Okay,
RSBN.
now come on, y'all.
Thank you so much. Go RSBN. Trump 2024.
Yes, absolutely. Good to see you. Thank you so much.
It ain't got no
talking
Trump
to some of these people from Montana as we get ready for President Donald Trump. Running a little behind tonight, but that's okay. He did have some technical problems on his plane earlier, so he had to make an emergency landing in Billings, Montana, but he is on his way. He's fine. I had a lot of people texting me and messaging me on social media asking if the president is fine. He's fine. He's going to be here tonight. The plane just had a couple of little issues, and they made that emergency landing. But all is well in Trump world here tonight in Montana. Taking a look at the crowd behind us. Everyone is on their feet waiting for the president. Just enjoying a good night. He should be here within about 30 minutes or so on stage. So stick around as we wait for the president. The people here really loving the congressional candidates who are in this race come November, and just ready to head to the polls. They want a fair election. They want an honest election. They want to save this state, and they want to save this country.
Yeah, it's, there's so many people here
Clearly,
that are just,
discourse going on.
incredibly excited. They want to
With
see
your
a safe
elected
and fair
officials.
election. They want to know that their vote counts, and that's what's most important.
These folks got their
And now that I'm
paraphernalia
looking around,
on.
there's not a single seat left in the House. If you want to talk about crowds, there's standing room only. In this entire building, the entire room is just filled with people. Standing room only, every seat, top to bottom, 100% filled. This is truly a sight to see. If you have not been to a Trump rally, this is something you do not want to miss. If you love President Trump and you love our country, this is the rallies that you have to go to. Stand in line, have fun all day, have great food, meet great people, very like-minded people, and then you come in and this is what you get. A great show, some great speakers, and just a lot of inspiration and hope for our country.
You're right. I love it here. It's in the air. Freedom is in the air. Faith is in the air, and hope is in the air at these rallies. Hey, if in these crazy times, there is peace of mind and security. Security for our country, security for our leaders, and security for our families. But think about this. If you have all of your eggs in one basket, you are not financially secure. Gold and silver are an excellent way to diversify your savings. That's why it's important for you to get a jump start on all of your savings with the Birch Gold
We got to wait for
Group.
Trump to get back in there first. We
My friends
ain't
at
got
the
no money
Birch Gold
right
Group,
now.
you can
We don't have no money.
own physical gold and silver in a tax-sheltered retirement account. Transfer those IRAs, those 401ks. Make sure your money is safe. Contact the Birch Gold Group. A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Thousands of satisfied customers. You could be the next one. All you have to do is text the word Trump to 989898. Again, text the word Trump to 989898. Do it right now. Don't delay. You'll get a free information kit. No obligation necessary. You'll get that free info kit, and then also speak to a representative, one of these experts in the field, to help you put your money in the right place. That's the Birch Gold Group. Text the word Trump to 989898. About 30 minutes away from President Trump taking the stage here in Montana, Bozeman, Montana. The people here are excited. They're ready. They're on their feet. They're dancing along to the music. And we're going to let you enjoy the crowd. We're going to pan the crowds. Thanks for watching Right Side Broadcasting Network and spending your Friday evening with us. We love that you're here with us. We love that you choose us to be your campaign headquarters for 2024. I'm Vanessa Broussard, along with Mike is here with us, and we're just having a great time for the weekend, to start the weekend. So enjoy the pans of the crowd. Thanks for watching. And we'll be back with you momentarily here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. in Bozeman, Montana, as we await President Trump, who should be taking the stage here momentarily. A packed house, not an empty seat here in the arena on Montana State University's campus. Standing room only. The overflow crowd is packed, and we are excited about what's ahead tonight.
Yeah, the anticipation is growing. You know, there's so many signs. It's just a sea of Trump signs. You know, it is just, it's a very colorful red, white, and blue crowd. It's one heck of a Friday night. You know, again, this is just one way that you can spend your Friday night with President Trump and RSBN. And, you know, we hope we are bringing this to you, and you can see the excitement in the air, the people on their feet. The jubilation is just unbelievable. And the shirts and the Trump gear is just fantastic. There's so many diverse and unique people here from every kind of background you can imagine. And again, standing room only. I'm looking at people you can't see behind our camera, but it's all the way wall to wall packed, all the way back to the doors. There's no more line outside. Everybody is inside. There's a waiting area where they think they have a big screen outside where everyone is enjoying what they can out there for all the thousands of people that could not make it in. And so, you know, we're getting close. We're getting close. It's heating up.
Yes, and all of these people, you will hear the crowd cheer when some of these state reps and congressional members walk by. Here tonight, we have Representative Ryan Zinke of Montana, Senator Steve Daines of Montana, Tim Sheehy. A lot of support tonight for Tim Sheehy. The governor, I hear, is here. Matt Whitaker spoke earlier. Okay. So a lot of excitement surrounding tonight's event for not only President Trump, but for the congressional seats that are up for grabs in Montana, because they want to keep Montana red, and they also want to help President Trump in 2025 with more Senate seats and more House seats. So Montana wants to do their job, and they're going to vote red all the way down the ballot come November. Taking a look at Poly Market's presidential election poll, taking a look at the swing states, the chance of winning. Trump has a 67% chance in North Carolina. In Nevada, Trump has a 52% chance. In Georgia, Trump has a 55% chance of winning. In Arizona, President Trump has a 56% chance of winning. We talked to some people from Arizona earlier today, and they're just tired of the mess there in Arizona. They're tired of the open borders. They're tired of the economy. They're tired of the crime. And so they're actually, they told me that they packed up and they moved here to Montana because they just can't take Arizona anymore. But there's also some big seats up for grabs in Arizona as well. You have Carrie Lake running for Senate. Big election there. So you want to make sure that, you make sure you vote in Arizona. But looking at these poll numbers, Trump has a chance of winning Arizona, 56% chance of winning Arizona. That's according to Poly Market on interactive polls. So looking good in those states for President Trump. But people ask, Mike, why is he here in Montana? Montana's a red state. Well, the fact is because we do have those Senate seats, and we do have some other big races going on that he's here in the state stomping
I know
for
that's
tonight.
right.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we know that Trump has set himself as a force, and throwing his weight behind.
I'm about 2 sticks of butter. Those 2 sticks of butter with $3
to everyone here in Montana. Montana has been red and will likely continue to be red for quite some time, but they love to have that support from Donald Trump. It's important to everyone on a local level. We've heard all day about what's affecting everybody most with crime, the border, inflation, and obviously, these candidates that are counting on Trump support really want to help Montanans take this back, make sure that they can take back their state, their country, and really just, live the American way of life that they've been used to and that they want to, and live on their own terms.
Yeah, and living the American way, what is the American dream anymore? People want to have that American dream. They want to be successful. They want to start a family. They just want to, live happily and free. But the American dream is almost shattered now because it's the illegal alien dream. You know, the Americans are being pushed into the corner while the illegal aliens are getting front row seats to everything. Free housing, free health care. It's just very unfair. And looking at some other notes here, talking about Kamala. Kamala, I'm told, was in Arizona today, but she's going to these blue cities. She hasn't gone to rural America because rural America, as we know, is red. And so the states that she has campaigned in and made campaign stops in have all been liberal cities. So President Trump and his team talking about Kamala not answering the media for 19 days now. She did stop and talk to one on the tarmac earlier this week, just yesterday. And Kamala stated that she has to talk to her team to schedule a press interview by the end of the month. Why would anyone need 3 weeks to prepare for an interview with a friendly outlet that will throw her softball questions coming from the Trump team? Why is she being controlled by her new team, consisting of former Obama officials, instead of making decisions herself? Is it because she can't be trusted to make her own decisions? Who is actually in charge? And that's the big question right now. Who is in charge? Joe Biden isn't at the White House right now. He's not even in Washington, D.C. right now. He's vacationing.
He did a little interview
at the White House right now. She's not in D.C. either. She's on the campaign trail in Arizona. So who is running the country right now? Well, I'll let you decide for yourself at home. I think I have an idea. Probably the same person who I believe has been running the country for the past 3.5 years, sitting in the back room with the IFB in his ear and a little microphone making all the calls. And it's not Kamala and it's not Joe Biden. So that's probably who's running the country right now. The Trump team says she is not in charge. She can't be trusted to make her own decisions. And she's ducking press interviews and press conferences because she'll malfunction like Joe Biden if she's unscripted. And that's actually true. In her rallies lately, all she's done is go off script, and sometimes it's the same script. She has been recorded being verbatim in all of her rallies, saying the same thing over and over again. Same scripts, different rallies. Reminder about Birch Gold as we talk about the economy and the struggles that people are going through. You don't have to go through those struggles with your money. You can roll your IRAs and 401ks into gold with the Birch Gold Group. All you have to do is text the word Trump to 989898. Again, text the word Trump to 989898. The Birch Gold Group will send you a no obligation free information kit. They'll also send you they'll call you and you'll get to talk to these professionals about how they can help you. They'll get your information regarding how much you want to put in and what your plans are for the future, and then they'll get you on the right path. It's almost like a schedule to get your money on the right path to financial peace of mind. That's the Birch Gold Group, who has a 5-star rating with the Better Business Bureau. Thousands of satisfied customers, rave reviews from their customers who are so happy with the outcome now that they've switched over to the Birch Gold Group. So don't wait. Make sure you invest with them today. That's the Birch Gold Group. Text the word Trump to 989898. Okay, we're continuing the party here in Bozeman, Montana. As we watch the crowds, the people are excited. They're on their feet. President Trump will be coming out momentarily. What an awesome event. It's been a beautiful day.
Y'all been out there all
scenery
day.
Is too
They started showing
for
coverage
so
at
gorgeous
10 o'clock
here in Montana.
It was like 8 o'clock.
The perfect location, and the crowd is just energized. They're excited. We have 88 days to go until November 5th. That's all. Just 88 days to go. And we are continuing on the campaign trail. The Trump train has taken us to the north part of the country, right here through Montana. No other announcements just yet, but be standing by for those. You know, President Trump will have those coming out here in the next day or so about his next rally.
Girl, I'm gonna need you to get to a map.
That are
if you
coming
look
up.
at the map,
So stick with
Bozeman,
RSBN
that's like,
as we continue to
it's like
stay in contact with the Trump campaign and what rallies will be coming up. Make sure you're signed up for our newsletters as well. That way you'll know about these rallies when they are announced. You can go to rsbnetwork.com, sign up for our newsletters, and from there you'll get all the information right to your email. And if you're like me, you're always on the phone, you can just click on your email from your phone and you'll find out all you need to know right there from our newsletter. Also, thanks to everyone on X. Big day for RSBN as we hit the 1 million follower mark. Thank you for following us on X. And also, if you're watching on Rumble, thanks for watching. YouTube, thank you. Facebook, thanks to everyone who's watching and supporting us. We appreciate all of our viewers. And for you to make RSBN your campaign headquarters for 2024. I'm smiling at the crowd because they're so excited, and we are too, as we wait for President Trump to arrive here in Bozeman.
Right.
I'm reading a new statement from the Trump-Vance campaign that just came in, talking about Tim Walz being the worst vice president in history if elected.
Man, he need to quit lying about
Walz,
his military.
of course, supports open borders, just like Kamala. Walz supports defunding the police, just like Kamala. Walz supports confiscating guns, just like Kamala. These people are a danger to America. They're dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. Open borders, defunding the people who protect us, and confiscating our guns. We cannot let this happen, America. We've got to save our country. But not just on the presidential level, but also for our congressional seats that are up for grabs as well. Continuing to watch the crowd here in Bozeman. I'm Vanessa Broussard along with Mike is here with us, and we're just having a great time. Thanks for following us. Thanks for being here with us. Mike, how you feel about it? Your first rally?
It's electric. It's, you know, there's really no other. Everyone is just fired up. You know, the signs are everywhere to be seen. I mean, look at this. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable as we scan the crowd here. It's just, you know, we get so many waves and pictures and everything. It's just absolutely fantastic. It's there's really nothing like it. There's really no way to describe your first rally here. What a great place. You know, besides the weather and the scenery, you know, what a great bunch of people here in Montana welcoming RSBN and Donald Trump into their homes. And you at home welcoming us and watching us and supporting us. We certainly appreciate everything that you do for us. And we hope that we can bring you the best coverage for every rally and really give you a sense when you can't be here around the country, give you a sense of what it's like to be here, to be inside, to be this close and on the front lines of these rallies, because there's really nothing like it. It's truly a family event. You know, it's Donald Trump is just has the draw. He's just the person that everybody wants to see. And, you know, we hope that November 5th, we can keep this going all the way through and bring it home. And like we know that we can, and really just get out there. That's our message to you, is to get out there and vote and make your vote count. Make it so that there is no way that there's any question who the winner of this election is, the most important election in our history.
Absolutely. Make it too big to rig. That's the slogan from the Trump campaign. And that's just what these people want to do here in Montana. If you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook or Rumble, join in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from and where do you want to see President Trump to go next. Let us know in the chats. Keep joining in on the conversation. We love to hear from all of you. So much at stake this election. You know, we talked about it just a moment ago. You have Kamala Harris, who wants to defund the police. She has released dangerous criminals from jail when she was a prosecutor. She let these criminals out, and when they should have been jailed. She does not support the police. She has a running mate who lies about serving in Iraq. He is this is just stolen valor. He left his units and abandoned them. So when they were deployed, he stayed back, and he has lied about it. This is the ticket that wants to run our country. What a slap in the face that is to all of our servicemen and women and all of our veterans. This is a ticket. So the Kamala and Tim Walz ticket is a ticket that wants to raise taxes. They want to make grocery prices even higher. They want to make gas prices even higher. They want to stop the Keystone XL pipeline. They want to stop everything that's good. They want to take away your Second Amendment rights. Hey, they even want to take away our First Amendment rights to freedom of speech. Look how it is on social media with Facebook, how it was really bad back in 2016, 2020. You know the term, Facebook jail. You say something, you go to jail. They want to take away our right to talk. They want to take away our guns. They want to take away all of our rights. We can't allow this to happen in America. So what do? We have to save this country and vote. And take a look around.
The Facebook jail
How many
myself.
American flags do you
like
see
that.
here tonight?
So
many.
that's all it took.
How many people do you see with patriotic gear on, whether it's hats or T-shirts or scarves?
That's all it took.
You don't see this at a Kamala Harris rally. You don't see this around Tim Walz because they are America last. This movement, this party is America first. This is our homeland, and we have to protect our homeland. And it's up to us to do so. As Trump said when he got up on July 13th in Butler, Pennsylvania, and raised his wrist and said, fight, fight, fight. He was talking to you. He was talking to me. He was talking to everybody here tonight and everyone watching to continue to fight for this country. Don't give up. And so that's our message to you tonight as well. Keep fighting the good fight. A lot of people ask, how can I get involved? Well, you can start at your local level, join different organizations. If there's not one, create one with you and your neighbor or you and your best friend, and then let that grow. It's okay just to start with a few people. You can also become an election worker, a poll watcher. There's so many different ways to get involved. We need lots of eyes at the polls this year. So if you want to be a poll watcher, please do, because the more we have eyes on the ground there watching to see what's going on, the less likely any type of suspicious activity could be going on. So that's how you can get involved. So please do so. Make sure that you do get involved and get everyone involved in your neighborhood as well. A reminder about Birch Gold. Birch Gold Group is your go-to for turning your IRAs and 401ks into precious metals. Save today with the Birch Gold Group. Text the word Trump to 989898. Again, text the word Trump to 989898. We can't emphasize enough how the American dollar is going down, and it may continue to do so. We just don't know. And so that, the way to not be worried about it or concerned about it is to invest in gold. And you can do that with the Birch Gold Group. Text the word Trump to 989898. You'll get a no obligation free information kit, and you'll also get a phone call from one of the professionals, representatives, who will help you come up with a plan that's best for you. Thousands of satisfied customers become the next satisfied customer with the Birch Gold Group. Text the word Trump to 989898. Yes, packed house here tonight. Standing room only at the top. Standing room only here on the ground level. The overflow crowd. It is packed, and we're just minutes away from President Trump taking the stage. A lot of first-time rally goers
about an
here
hour
today.
late.
And here we go, President Trump.
Okay, here we go.
Great Gianforte.
Hello, Montana. It is so great to see you. Serving as your governor these past 3 years
has honestly been the greatest honor of my life. And I'm looking forward to continue to serve Montana when Donald J. Trump is back in the White House. This presidential election can be summed up as the weak and failed against the strong and successful. That's the difference between Harris and Trump. Montanans have been feeling the effect of Kamala's agenda for 3 long years. Home prices are through the roof. It's harder to buy groceries and gas. Childcare is more expensive. Biden trusted Harris, boy, that was a mistake, as his so-called border czar. Shh. You know it. She's been a complete dud.
Wow.
Under Harris, we've had more than 10 million illegal crossings. That's 10 illegal immigrants for every citizen of the state of Montana. It's got to stop. The Harris border policy is as effective as a screen door on a submarine. Donald Trump will finish the wall and secure our border once and for all. Have you seen this guy they nominated as their vice president? Tim Walz? He's soft on crime, and his so-called peaceful protester destroyed his entire state. And Kamala Harris, she bailed him out. We need to defeat Harris and Walz and send Donald Trump and J.D. Vance to the White House. But they need our help. And that starts with electing Republicans up and down the ballot. And let me just say, I would be honored to have your vote in November. Together, we've worked to fight the Harris agenda, her war on coal, and her war on Montana values. But it doesn't stop there. We need to send Ryan Zinke and Troy Downing back to the House of Representatives. We need to fire career politician Jon Tester and send Navy SEAL Tim Sheehy to the Senate.
Hey, Crystal. Yeah, he did, Crystal.
And we need to fire Kamala Harris. Make number 45 number 47 again. All, you know it, so we can make America great again.
It's my great honor to introduce our next speaker. Tim Sheehy is a father, a husband, a combat veteran, a patriot, and a job creator. He has lived the American dream
I'm all right. How you doing,
while
Chris?
serving our great nation.
We've been up in here almost 2 hours waiting for this to start.
And he's running to deliver leadership in the Senate that will make Montana proud. Make no mistake, the fight for the U.S. Senate starts right here in Montana. Jon Tester votes with Harris 95% of the time. In fact, Tester recruited Harris for the Senate. What's up with this guy? Tim Sheehy in the Senate. Montana will have a true leader who will fight inflation, secure the border, and help President Trump make America great again. Please join me in welcoming my friend and your next U.S. Senator, Tim Sheehy.
I have not, Krista. I'm gonna try to do that this weekend.
Well, you know my name. Did you know those are also my pronouns?
Oh, Lord.
I've been a he-she for 38 years. I can tell you, going to middle school in the 90s, that wasn't a fun name to have. And that is a joke, but it's also an illustration of the lunacy we're seeing in America right now, where we are telling our boys that they're girls and our girls that they're boys.
I will. Definitely will.
And Jon Tester voted for it. He voted to put boys in girls sports. He has been a rubber stamp for the Biden-Harris agenda every single time it matters. You'll hear numbers like 91%. You'll hear numbers like 95%. The truth is, every single time America's been on the ballot in the U.S. Senate, Jon Tester's voted the other way. Every single time. And in the last 3.5 years, Kamala Harris has broken more ties than any other vice president in the history of this country. And that's because of one person, Jon Tester. And in a state that President Trump carried twice by 20 points, Jon Tester couldn't find the courage to say, I'm going to vote against these terrible policies that are bad for Montanans. I'm going to vote against these policies that are bad for America. And I'm going to vote against these policies that are bad for hardworking, everyday Americans. And what they've done is they put you in the back seat, and they've continually enriched all the D.C. special interests that pay for Jon Tester's campaign. He is the #1 recipient of lobbyist dollars of every single political candidate in this nation, including presidents.
Yeah, that is usually the experience.
I served as a Navy SEAL. My wife was a Marine. We met in the military. And during the wars, we were deploying on and off. We saw each other like 45 days spread across 5 or 6 years. And that's the secret to a happy marriage, right? Just kidding. My wife's my best friend. I'm so lucky she still puts up with my crap. We love this country. We joined 18 after 9/11. When you joined after 9/11, I'm sure, who we got post 9/11 vets in here? Where are our veterans? All right, where are the rest of our veterans? The rest of our veterans, stand up. I want to see all our vets on your feet. Thank you. Thank you. And all of you did something. All of you did something that Jon Tester never did. You put your country first. And when my wife and I joined the military at 18 after 9/11, there was no question what was going to happen. We weren't going to get free college. We knew we were going to war. And we were going to war to protect this great country. I've been to about 93 countries around the world. There's some beautiful places. But there is nowhere I would rather raise my family, build my business, or call home than the United States of America. We are so lucky to be Americans. And if you wonder why we have a border crisis, it's because everybody wants to come here and be Americans. No one's walking across deserts to move to China. No one's drowning in the ocean to move to Russia. They are coming here to be Americans, and we should be proud of that. But I'll tell you another thing, America is at a crossroads. And when I discovered that, I've never run for anything in my life. I haven't run for student council. I haven't run for Congress or anything else. But when I watched the sacrifice of my friends, whose names I still wear on my wrist, we fought hard in Afghanistan. We answered our nation's call. And I still fly water bombers to this day. I protect our public lands. Just last week, I was out water bomber protecting your land.
Ooh.
And I was flying water bombers in California by day, and by night I was on my phone trying to get American citizens, allies, interpreters, people that fought alongside us to fight the terrorists. Joe Biden abandoned them in Afghanistan. He left them behind. And he left billions of dollars of equipment. And in the wake of that, I got involved in politics. I said, enough is enough. I'm sick of this bullshit. We got to save this country.
Wow.
And a couple years later, here we are. The reason I'm running for this seat is very simple. When I understood the importance of this race, when I understood that the control of the United States Senate came down to this seat, it was clear that my new path to serve this country was in the U.S. Senate. I got out of the military and started a business in my barn right out of town here. Bridger Aerospace has been a Montana success story. We've created hundreds of jobs right here in this state. And when we created those jobs, we had a lot of veterans on staff. We were fighting wildfires, innovating new technologies and ways to protect our communities. And I'm proud of that. Jon Tester attacks my company every single day, and it's disgusting. You should be ashamed of that. Just like he attacks my war record. And you know why? He attacks my war record because he doesn't have one. He attacks my business because he's never started one. But let's put all that aside. Let's talk about what matters to Montanans. I can't outspend Jon Tester on the air. He's got way too much money. So I do grassroots campaign, all 56 counties, every VFW hall, every rodeo. We're going to every small town, shaking people's hand, looking them in the eye, and telling them why we're going to win this race and how we're going to save this country. And I've heard a lot of things across the state. To our Native brothers and sisters, what have the Democrats done for you? What have the Democrats done for the reservations and the tribes? Why do you continue to vote for them and send them back to office? I ask you to consider supporting our campaign because we will put you first. To working men and women, The open border crisis is destroying our reservations, our urban communities, and our rural communities. Fentanyl's pouring into our state and is tearing apart our families and the fabric of our country. 100,000 Americans a year, thanks to Biden and Harris, and Tester voted for it every time. For everyday working Montanans, gas prices are double, diesel prices are double. Your home is more expensive, inflation's at record highs. How is this economy taking care of you? It's not. It's been an upward transfer of wealth under the Biden-Harris Tester regime. They've taken money from your pocket, and they're paying off college student loans with it. They're paying for illegal immigrants' hotel rooms with it. They're sending hundreds of billions overseas to other countries when they should be supporting you. They should be supporting hardworking Montanans. And I'm thrilled to have President Trump here supporting us. He's the first president in a generation not to enter us into a foreign war. He's built the strongest economy in a generation, securest border in a generation, and he showed strength on the world stage. And we're going to send him back to the White House in November. But you have a very important job to do, because if Donald Trump gets to the White House and doesn't have a Senate, he's not going to get things done. You need to deliver him a Senate by retiring Jon Tester. And across all 56 counties in our state, I've heard one thing from Montanans. They want common sense back. They want common sense government. And what does common sense mean to Montanans? They want a secure border, safe streets, cheap gas. Cops are good, criminals are bad, boys are boys, girls are girls.
Okay. That was simple and to the point.
This fall, we got to save America. We got a lot of work to do. Let's get to work. Thank you.
I wonder what be going on behind the curtain.
for Tim Sheehy. Tim Sheehy will walk by and the audience goes crazy. Every time he walks on the right-hand side of the arena, they go nuts. When he walks on the left-hand side, they go nuts. And of course, he had a great welcome when he came out on stage. So I think Tim Sheehy may be good to go this coming November.
Yeah, Tim came out with a lot of energy. There's a lot of love for him as a Navy SEAL, and as a local Montanan business owner, really relatable to the people. And, obviously with his competition now, I think, and obviously with the backing of President Trump, this could be the election Tim Sheehy needs to get into the Senate.
Yes, and so that's what we're here for tonight, is to make sure that Montana is they play a crucial role in the Senate seats come November. And so that's why President Trump is here. That's why the people are here, because the people of Montana know just how important it is for us to take over the Senate and also keep our majority in the House. And it goes right through Montana. It's very important here in Montana. But I think that people here, I'm estimating, I don't know, I'm usually not the best at this, but it holds about 8,500 people, and there's standing room only. There's, of course, the seats on the ground, the risers behind us. I would say about 10 to 12,000 people inside right now.
Yeah, it's extremely impressive. It's extremely good. They have squeezed every body that they possibly can in here. Hey, how are you? And
okay, take care, Chris. I do appreciate you
the support for RSBN
make
is
sure you hit
amazing.
that link and subscribe to my other channels. We're gonna have more
nonstop.
more
but yeah,
topics
it's
there.
it's fantastic here. There's so many people.
Later. Thanks
The
for
love is
stopping
great.
by.
The energy is amazing. With Trump now leading in 5 crucial states, I think there's only one way to go, and that's back to the White House for President Trump.
Yes, absolutely. That's where we're hoping to head come January of next year. So again, Montana voted red in 2016. They voted red in 2020, and they are on track to vote red in 2024, not only in the presidential race, but also for all of the races up and down the ballot, from the local level all the way to the top. The people here are fed up. They want to keep Montana. They don't want California moving into Montana and those type of laws under Governor Newsom to start taking over here. So they're really standing up for their home turf of sorts and for their state. A lot of 5th generation plus residents here speaking out and standing up for what their families have stood for in the past for generations.
Yeah, I mean, they've seen what the liberal agenda has done here in Montana. They've seen what it's done across the country. They've certainly seen what it's done in my home state, California, under Governor Gavin Newsom, which has just been awful, and it's affected Californians. They're starting to see some of that here, and they just don't like it. So their main concern is to keep it Montana. They don't want California 2.0. They don't want anybody coming in with that liberal agenda. They want to make sure that they keep it fully Republican, fully red. And I think that with the support that they're showing here tonight, I think they're going to get it done.
Yes, absolutely. And it's exciting to see. Hey, we love to tell you what's going to come up. We love to look ahead here on RSBN, but we just don't know. But as soon as we know, we'll put that out for you on our social media accounts, also our newsletter. So make sure you're following us, because we're sure that once tonight ends, the Trump team and the Trump campaign will send out some information on what's ahead. And you can bet that that RSBN will be there and will continue to be on the campaign trail. A lot of that has to do with you. So thank you to our donors who continue to donate to us. A lot of first-time donors too. We appreciate all of you who have donated to help us stay here on the campaign trail and let you see the crowds for yourself, let you hear from the people. It's one thing to hear from news anchors, but it's the people that we let do the talking for most of our broadcasts.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the most important things with RSBN is that you're in it. You're in it with us. You're embedded in it. We're not standing somewhere and showing a wide shot all the time. We're in the crowds. We're talking to the people. You're getting a feeling for everywhere that we go in every state, everywhere there's a rally. You know what's going on. You're seeing what the issues are. And because of you, we've made it to 1 million subscribers tonight. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for the continued support. And please continue to donate to RSBN, because this is what helps us stay on the campaign trail and show you what this is all about.
Yeah, absolutely. We let the people do the talking most of the broadcast, and you hear it from people from all over the country, no matter what state we're in, no matter what city we're in. They all have the same issues that they're facing, and they all have the same common goal, and that's just to put God first and save our country. And they believe that President Trump is that man. But he's here. He's in the House. He's meeting with his donors and some of the congressional candidates in the back right now. And any minute, we're expecting him to come out and talk to us. If you live on the East Coast, we're sorry. We know it's late on a Friday night, but that's okay. Where else could you be other than a Trump rally? I can promise you there's nowhere else in town that's as hype as where we are right now. So you're in the right spot this late on a Friday night. Waiting for President Trump, taking a look at the crowd behind us. You can see a lot of people on their feet. People are just waiting on Donald Trump to arrive. I'm Vanessa Broussard along with Mike Fortin. So good to have you here with us. We're at the Brick Breeden Fieldhouse on the campus of Montana State University. The people in the back are sure having a good time with their signs. Very energetic, very happy. We got tight security here tonight, so don't worry at home. Everywhere I look, I see some sort of security.
That's security.
You know, I just mentioned some dates that as we wait for the Trump campaign to release the next rally dates, but I'll tell you that President Trump has agreed to 3 debates with Kamala Harris, but she has not yet agreed to those debates. It's funny that she hasn't, Mike, because just at her rally the other day, she says, I wish Donald Trump would tell me to my face. Well, Kamala, he has agreed to 3 debates that you have not agreed to yet. So he's more than ready to debate you anywhere, anytime, any place. He has agreed to September 4th on Fox News. He has agreed to September 10th on NBC, and he has agreed to September 25th with ABC, but still nothing from Kamala. Same thing when J.D. Vance confronted her on the tarmac the other day, just this week, saying, hey, why are you hiding? Are you taking notes from Biden? Are you hiding with Biden? And she didn't come off her plane, so he confronted the media and said, it's been 19 days now. She has yet to talk to the people. She has yet to say where we are as a country with the stock market crashing, on the verge of World War III. Where's Joe Biden? She will not take any media questions. So here's President Trump agreeing to debate. She has not, but yet she tells her followers, tell me to my face, but yet she doesn't want to meet President Trump to his face. And she wouldn't even go out and greet J.D. Vance and meet him face to face.
Yeah, I think he's trying to look for any way out because I don't think there's a way for her to win in a debate against President Trump. And right now, when she was confronted by a reporter asking her if she would commit to the 3 debates, she said that she committed to 1. And she completely dodged the question about the other 2.
Yeah,
so,
that was at
it's very clear that she's got some reservations, as she should, when debating President Trump. I think that, with her dodging the questions and obviously J.D. Vance and everyone calling her out, she continues to run and hide. She's using the Biden strategy of hiding like Biden. It's first we had Joe that hit out all he could. We saw what Joe could do on a debate stage. I want to see what Kamala can do on a debate stage if she's able to hold her own against Donald Trump. Personally, I don't think she can.
Absolutely. What is she going to win on? She can't win on the economy. She can't win on the border. She can't win on the wars that are brewing overseas and actually underway overseas. She can't win on any policy. And in fact, if you look at her website, she has no policies listed because she has none. She has never been elected to a position by the people. The people know better. And so she cannot win against President Trump. have this administration. We are doomed from start if this administration walks into the White House in January. We got to get out. We got to vote for Trump. We got to save our country and have some common sense restored back into our homeland. All right, continuing to watch the people here. We're going to let you enjoy the crowd, enjoy the movement going on tonight as we look at the screen saying, make a plan to vote by mail, absentee, early, in person. Swap the vote. Make it too big to rig on November 5th. 88 days to go until Election Day. I'm Vanessa Broussard with Mike Fortin. So good to see you. We're going to let you enjoy the crowd, listen to some music, and President Trump will be with us any minute now. President Trump comes out, and then we also have the Secret Service already making their way out with extra security on hand. So it should be any minute now that President Trump walks out. As you know, he was expected to start at 8 p.m. Mountain Time. It's now almost 9:30, but he did have some problems with Trump Force One, some technical issues, mechanical issues tonight, so he had to make an emergency landing. He's fine. The plane's fine, but he got here, and he wasn't going to miss it. He's President Trump. Of course, he was not going to let all of these thousands of people, he wasn't going to leave them hanging. So he's here. We're here. We're glad that you're here with us as well to enjoy this party, this Trump train party tonight here in Bozeman, Montana.
I can only imagine what he going to say about that.
Shouldn't be long now.
The Detroit visit.
As the wave continues, it's just getting bigger and bigger, louder and louder, more signs, just an absolute sight to see. So glad to be part of this here on a Friday night with RSBN. Thank you for joining us. We certainly appreciate you taking the time to watch us and subscribe to us and donate so we can continue to bring you these events like nobody else. Get you right into the action, get you up close with the issues. And the
we
people.
got some more party music going on right now, Mike. Everybody's on their feet having a good time any minute now. Just a reminder that Trump dominated Montana in 2016 and 2020, and he's well on the path to take over for 2024 as well. This arena that we're at the campus and men's and boys' restrooms.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the next president of the United States, President Donald J. Trump.
They gave him a few dollars.
Thank you. Oh, wow. Thank you very much. Thank you. Is that a big crowd? A nice crowd. Thank you very much, and a very, very special hello, Montana. I've been traveling all over the state. Now, I'll tell you, I know Montana better than you know. I was all over your state today. Everything's 2 hours. When are we going to be there? 2 hours, sir, 2 hours. I got to like Tim Sheehy a lot to be here. I have to. He better win. He better win. No. This is some beautiful country, though. I did do a lot of driving. I'd go to one. We went to some friends' house, a really good friend's house with your governor. You have a great governor in this state. You know that, right? But we went around the state, and it was so beautiful. And I'd say, when will I be there? Approximately 2.5 hours. So, oh, great. Thank you. It's a big state. It's a beautiful state, and we love it. And we've won it every time by a lot. So I'm thrilled to be back in this incredible place, this beautiful state with thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots, which is what you are. You built the country. Less than 3 months from now, we are going to defeat radical left Democrat Jon Tester. He's terrible. He is terrible.
He is terrible.
And send Tim Sheehy to the United States Senate. We're going to evict crazy Kamala. Do you ever hear of Kamala? Radical left. Radical left. Well, she has a couple of things that a lot of people from Montana would like she wants to take away your guns. You like that, right? All right, how about this? She wants to fund the police. Are you okay with that? She wants to allow millions of people to pour into our border through an invasion using
using an invasion process. I don't think so. I don't think that's for you. It's not for me either. It's not for most people in this country. We're going to evict crazy Kamala, and we're going to get Joe Biden out of the White House. What's he doing now? Greg, what's he doing? Yeah. You know, he wanted to debate. If we didn't have a debate, he'd still be there. Can you imagine if we didn't have a debate? Why the hell did I debate him? How did he do? Do you think he's happy with it? I don't think so. He's not too happy. You know, they took it away from him. They really did. They took it away. The guy had 14 million votes. She had none. But I'd rather run against her. I think she's easier to beat. I really do. I believe it. And we are going to make America great again. We're going to make it so great. This election is about saving our economy, ending inflation, securing our borders, restoring respect for our nation. We're no longer respected. Preventing World War III, especially for all these young people, these young, beautiful people. We don't want to get them into World War III. And stopping a 1929-style depression, because that's what's going to happen. You saw what happened last week. With your vote, we will reverse the Kamala crash, and we will end the Kamala chaos, and we will stop the Biden-Harris invasion of people that don't belong in our country. They're invading our country. Kamala Harris, you know, it's interesting. Nobody really knows her last name. If you ask people, do you know what her last name is? Nobody has any idea what it is. Harris. It's like Harris. I don't know. How the hell did this happen? You know, they said, so we had the debate. He didn't exactly do well. And they actually, CNN was very nice. They said, that was one of the greatest debate performances I've ever seen, said by a very important person at CNN. Then what happens? 2 days later, they said he was lousy. They don't talk about me anymore. They just said he was lousy. And he was pretty bad, you have to admit. But we're going to turn it around. We're going to turn this country around. We're going to turn it around very fast. We'll turn it around very fast. And Kamala is not up to the job. He's not up to it. Neither is Tester up to it. You know, Tester, everyone thinks like he's my best friend. He's never voted for me once, and yet his commercials is, I like Donald Trump very much. I love his pride. I love his border stance. He votes against the border. He voted against funding of the border. He said, I love his stance on energy. He voted against our energy programs. He votes against us 100%. He's voted in favor of crooked Joe Biden 100% of the time. He did it last time with the election. We had the same problem. Do you remember? He comes out, everyone's saying, he really likes your policy a lot. He doesn't like, he's a radical left lunatic, just like Kamala, and we got to elect him. We got to get him in. Got to get him in. Since becoming a presidential candidate, she has refused to do a single interview. You know why? Because she's dumb. Or hold a single press conference. She won't hold a press conference. She won't do it. She won't do it. She doesn't want. And they're easy questions, you know, because the press, look at them back there. Look at all of them. A lot of press. They're rigged. They're rigged. They're fake news. You know, I looked and I get these tough questions from the press all the time, and I look at the questions that Joe got, right? Where do you think you're having dinner tonight? What will you eat? Will you have ice cream for dessert? No, I don't know. It's unfair. The questions are so hard, he says. No, the way they treated him and with me. I won't use the questions because I don't want to give any ideas. They give me the worst questions. They are so nasty. They are the nastiest people, I think, on earth. And Kamala gives the exact same speech over and over again, over and over, the same exact words. one of the people put it up, like they put 6 of them up, and it was like every single word is the same. I don't do that. I got to give you a little bit of variety, right? I change all these damn speeches. Where are my speech writers? I'm going to do that. Just have one speech and just for the next 90 days go out and just read that thing. But we don't like to read teleprompters, right? It's not as much fun. It's not as exciting. And somehow it's never as good, is it, huh? No, I think we're going to write up one standard speech. You read it from beginning to end. You know what would happen? You'd start walking out. They'd say, oh, look, Trump's not holding. How about yesterday? They said, oh, she had a big crowd. Oh, the crowd. The press is talking about the crowd. In New Jersey, I had 107,000 people. The press never even talked about it. They don't talk about it. Right? They don't talk about it. Because they're fake. I went to South Carolina. We had 82,000 people. Front row Joe, look. We have many front row Joes. We have Mr. Wall over here. Look, I love that suit. Do you think he's in favor of building a wall? I think so, yes. I think so. He's great. How many of you come to? Over 200, right? And you know, he's a great guy. He's like, makes a lot of money. You got to make a lot of money. He travels all over the country. But the front row Joes are great. We have so many people. They've been to so many of the rallies. The rallies are great. We had a tough one 4 weeks ago, very tough one, right? We had a very tough one. Lost a great person, Corey, great firefighter, great person, really amazing man. Corey, yeah, tough one. Right? And 2 gentlemen, real Trumpers, real Trump people. The people, they love our country. What's a Trumper? They love our country too. Really, really badly hurt. They didn't think they were going to make it, and they did make it, and they're going to be as good as ever, and they're great. The doctors in that whole Butler area did a phenomenal job, I will tell you. They thought these 2 would not make it, and they not only made it, they're going to be, they'll be as good as new, but it'll take a little work, but they got hit hard. All Kamala does is read that teleprompter while pretending she had nothing to do with any of the disasters that she's totally given up of all of the things. She said, I want this, I want that, I want that. Now she doesn't want any of it. And then they accused me of being horrible when I questioned her. She wanted to be non-energy independent. She wants windmills all over the place, windmills. Put a windmill on top of the building. We have so much oil under our feet. We have more liquid gold under our feet than any country in the world, including Saudi Arabia and Russia. And we don't use it. 4 weeks ago, think of it. 4 weeks ago, the media said she was grossly incompetent. And I said, oh, this is going to be an easy race. She didn't have a chance of beating me. She couldn't do anything. They wanted to get her out. They thought she should resign with Crooked Joe Biden. What do you like better? It doesn't matter anymore, but what do you like better? Crooked Joe or Sleepy Joe? Sleepy Joe, Crooked Joe. Okay, ready? They're both correct. I think Crooked Joe is more correct than say. You're like, all right, ready? Crooked first, right? What do you like better? Crooked Joe or Sleepy Joe? Okay. Crooked seems to always win. I mean, he's a crooked guy. All he had to do is think of it. If he didn't do the debate, he'd still be running. They'd be saying how great he is. He's a brilliant man, a wonderful guy, really at the top of his game. He wasn't at the top of his game 25 years ago, I'll tell you right now. And she's worse than he is. She's worse. He's smarter than she is. But the Democrats didn't have the courage to force her off. They didn't have it. They didn't want to do it. It was politically incorrect. And now the media is saying that she's wonderful. She's wonderful. The same people back there, 4 of them I recognize so perfectly. If you can't do a press conference, you cannot be president, okay? That's it. She doesn't do anything. Remember when I used to always walk up to the press under the helicopter or under the wing of the plane and talk to them? I loved it because if I didn't like their question, I could say, I can't hear the helicopters. But they do many versions of it. Nobody ever did that before, you know. That was it. And they copy, everybody copies me. So now she walks up, she'll take like a half a question and she'll leave. Joe is bad. Joe couldn't hear, he couldn't do anything. It was an embarrassment to that art form. That was an art form. It was an embarrassment. Kamala, sometimes referred to as Kamala. You know, she got about 9 different ways of pronouncing the name. And because the press is so dishonest, no matter how you say it, they'll say you were wrong. You were wrong. I don't care if I get it right. Actually, I couldn't care less. Couldn't care less. I actually haven't been accused that I know of calling it wrong, but if I did, they'd say that he did it on purpose. And you could do that. I've done a lot of bad name calling where you call somebody that you know how to say the name perfectly and you call it on purpose. They say, sir, you made a mistake. I said, no, I didn't. Kamala will not answer for her record of failure and weakness. A doctor, please. Doctor in the house. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Take your time. Take your time, Doc. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. We love these people. They wait for 2 days sometimes, and then it's tough. It's not easy. Are they okay? Thank you very much. And doctor, take your time. Good. Thank you, darling. Thank you.
Hey, Danny, how are you? Oh, yeah. You okay? I can't hear it, guys. Wow, hold on. What about now? What about now? Oh, this is weird. Hold on, y'all.
Minneapolis, remember CNN? They're right back there. Watch. Oh, there goes their light. Their light just went off. While the governor's wife opened the windows to the mansion to enjoy the smell of the fire, she said, "The smell is so beautiful. I love it." I wonder where she's coming from.
What about now? Y'all good?
Wall said that socialism is just another word for neighborliness. She wants to be, he calls them neighbors, good neighbors. He signed a bill to give illegal aliens free health care. He abolished Columbus Day. He ordered tampons to be put into boys' bathrooms.
Yeah, that don't.
Do we have any children here? Please close your ears. He ordered tampons in boys' bathrooms, okay? He signed a law letting the state kidnap children to change their gender so that they go home. But I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about her. This is her ideology. That's why she picked him. And he signed a bill allowing pedophiles to claim human rights protections under the state law. And then he said, by the way, J.D. Vance is doing a phenomenal job. But then he said, well, think of that. Think of the things I just said. Then he said, you know, I think J.D. Vance is weird. You know, it's a word that they use. I think he calls me that too. No, we're not. We're very solid people. We want to have strong borders. We want to have good elections. We want to have low interest rates. We want to be able to buy a house. We want great education. We want strong borders. I think we're I think we're the opposite of weird. They're weird. You know what they do? They work with the press on coming up with a soundbite, just a soundbite. And every station that night, all the networks, CBS, and ABC, NBC, they all said, oh, they were called weird. It's unbelievable. You know, it's not a word that's really used too much in politics, but it's a terrible thing that they can do this. It's just a soundbite. No, J.D. Vance is a great patriot, and he's a United States Marine, and he's a real Marine, and he's a brilliant guy. And he went to Ohio State and graduated in 2 years at the top of his class, just about at the top of his class. And he then got into Yale, and he became a Marine. He got into Yale, and he did great at Yale. And he met his wife, who was actually, I think, the #1 student at Yale. They have a smart family. And we picked somebody that was very special, and he's really stepped up. I said, you got your sea legs, you know, because the first day they were hitting him with a lot of nonsense. And he's got his sea legs now. He's going to be great. I think don't we like him? And he's for the working man and woman. Tim Waltz is the man who's very freakish. He's very freakish. If Comrade Waltz and Comrade Harris win this November, the people cheering will be the pink-haired Marxists, the looters, the perverts, the flag burners, Hamas supporters, drug dealers, gun grabbers, and human traffickers. But with a Trump Vance victory, the cheers will come from the police officers, the firefighters, the Border Patrol agents, the steel workers, small business owners, parents, and hardworking citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. And that's what we're doing. We're getting record numbers in the Hispanic community, record numbers in so many different communities. Nobody's ever actually said, you know, this is the greatest movement in the history of our country. You do know that. Remember they used to say, no, MAGA's a good solid 35% of the party. No, it's 95% of the party, not 35. They used to say that. You know, they're very cunning people. MAGA's 35, and so it's 35. Really? No, it's 95% of the party, and I think it's probably 90%. I think the whole country. Who can want? Think of it. Who wants open borders? Who wants men playing in women's sports? And I'd like to congratulate the young woman who transitioned from a man into a boxer.
Oh,
you saw
Lord.
she won the gold medal.
Yeah.
How about the young
Messed up.
Italian, beautiful Italian boxer? She got in there and she didn't know what was going on. And she was a very good boxer, you know, against other women. She didn't count on this. And he's up here, boom, one little jab. Whoa. She goes, nobody ever hit me that way. Then he goes, boom. And she said, okay, I had enough.
Hi, Amanda.
It's
How are
crazy
you?
what they're doing. And this person won the gold medal. Did they win
Yeah,
the
that's
gold medal today? What do you
disrespectful.
think of that, Tim? I don't think Tim likes it. Greg, no good, right? Now, how crazy is it? How crazy is it? For 4 more years, and she wants it. She wants men to play in women's sports. She wants to take away your guns. All of the stuff. And now she's going to deny it. Watch. She'll come out with a statement. She'll deny it. And remember one thing. I'm going to say it again later because it's so important. No tax on tips. Do we like that? And they're just the opposite. They're driving people crazy. And our senior citizens, we're not going to have them pay tax any longer on Social Security. Okay? Those two things. 4 more years of crazy Kamala Harris means probably it means 50 million illegal aliens pouring into our country over another 4 years. 50 million could be 50 million more. They're overrunning our country. They're destroying our country. They're ruining our country, and they're making our country very unsafe. These are very tough people. These are criminals coming out of jails. These are people that are tough. The only good thing about them is they make our criminals look like weak sisters. That's it. These are really tough, nasty people. And we can't have it. You know, we all have a heart, but we can't have it. It means double-digit inflation decimating your savings. And your savings are being decimated. I know what you're going through. It means violent crime ripping through the suburbs. You know, they talk about women. I think suburban women like me a lot. You know, it's fake stuff. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? You know, I put something in when I was president. There will be no low-income housing developments built in areas that are right next to your house. You have a house in the suburbs. You're so proud. And then they want to build a low-income job with a 30-story building next to your house. And your house is worthless. And I stopped it. And then they say, well, I don't think suburban women like them. I think they like me. I'm going to keep criminals out of your neighborhood. That's really all that matters. I think they like me anyway. You're not going to have migrant criminals preying on our women and our girls while guns are confiscated from the law-abiding citizens. They want to take away your guns, and then they want to have our country overrun with some of the worst criminals there are anywhere in the world. And they come from all over the world. They come from Africa. They come from Asia. They come from the Middle East. They come from all over. A large boatload came recently from the Congo. Where do you come from? Where in the Congo? Prison. What did you do wrong? We do not want to say. Murder. It was murder. And they're dumping them into our country. You know the money they're saving, these other countries? Their prison population is way down. The money they're saving is, they've never had it so good. And if I were running any of those countries, if I were running Colombia, if I were running Brazil, I'd be doing the same thing, but I'd be doing it faster than they're doing it. Why wouldn't you do it? It's common sense. Dump all of your criminals. You know, in Venezuela, crime is down 72%. You know why? Because he took all of the criminals out of Caracas and out of all the cities. He took all of them out and dumped them into the United States. He emptied his prisons into the United States of America. Why are we taking this? Why do we take this? Why? So don't take my word for it. Listen, Kamala Harris's agenda straight from her own mouth. Would anybody like to see her? Let's do it for a couple of seconds. Go ahead.
Yeah, I am radical. We need to get radical about what we are doing and take it seriously. As President of the United States, I am prepared to get rid of the filibuster to pass a Green New Deal. There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. We have to have a buyback program, and I support a mandatory buyback program.
I believe it will totally eliminate private insurance.
Let's eliminate all of that. But would you support changing the dietary guidelines, the
yes, you know, the food pyramid. But people,
yes,
the juice red meat specifically.
Yes, I would.
Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants.
Where do you stand on defund the police?
This whole movement is about rightly saying we need to take a look at these budgets.
Harris asserted that ICE is perceived
Take
as
a
a
look at the budget
modern-day Ku
without
Klux
defunding the
Klan.
police.
Are you aware that there's a perception? Are you aware that there's a
that puts
perception?
ICE in the same category as the KKK. Is that what you're asking me? I see no parallel.
I'm not finished.
I see none.
And yeah, I am radical. We need to get radical about what we are doing.
And that's just a small part of it. That's just a small part. That's what we have, though. That's where they're going. We're going. Remember, I said we will not become a socialist country, and I meant it. Except I was wrong. We didn't become a socialist. We're going beyond socialism. We're becoming, if they get in, a communist, full-blown communist country. This is America. We're not a communist country. We're not going to let that happen. And Kamala is not just, she's not just dangerously extreme, and she is extreme, much more so than Biden, because Biden didn't know he was alive, let's face it, okay? Are you a socialist? What does that mean? What does it mean? Are you a communist, Joe? I don't know. So he was sort of dangerous because the people around the Resolute desk ran the country. Don't forget, he went after me. He weaponized government to go after me. I don't believe it was him. I believe it was the People's Circle. I could name every one of them. They're bad people. And we won our big case in Florida. Great, brilliant judge that was so smart and strong. And she didn't listen to the nonsense. And, you know, they play the ref with judges. They criticize them all the time, scream at them, treat them horribly. Justices, the justices of the Supreme Court, all judges. And they think they're playing the ref like the great Bobby Knight, right? Play the ref now. They're not putting up with it anymore. What they are doing is, in my opinion, totally illegal. Kamala is grossly incompetent and, in my opinion, has a very low IQ. But we'll find out about her IQ during the debate, okay? Let's find out about her IQ. So, you know, we have this great system. I want to show you just one other thing, please. Do you mind putting it up, please? Thank you.
We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I mean, I don't understand the point that you're making. Talking about the significance of the passage of time. Right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time.
Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country. Russia is a powerful country. Russia decided to invade a smaller country called Ukraine. So basically that's wrong.
So you're now no longer are you necessarily keeping those private files in some file cabinet that's locked in the basement of the house. It's on your laptop, and it's then therefore up here in this cloud that exists above us. Right? The Caribbean nations, island nations, in the Western Hemisphere. That is where the Caribbean is. We are also in the Western Hemisphere. They are our neighbors.
I am here, standing here on the northern flank, on the eastern flank, talking about what we have in terms of the eastern flank.
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been. You know?
Space is exciting. It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree that there are things and tools that are available to us to slow this thing down. We will work together and continue to work together to address these issues, to tackle these challenges, and to work together as we continue to work.
Do you ban plastic straws?
I never should. Yes. I mean, look, I'm going to be honest. It's really difficult to drink out of a paper straw when you have, if you're just like, if you don't gulp it down immediately, it starts to bend. And then, you know, the little thing catches it. And then, you know, so we got to kind of perfect that one a little bit more.
No, just get a glass straw.
Okay, a bit of a history lesson. Do you know that the women's teams were not allowed to have brackets until 2022?
So the United States shares a very
Someone said they have brackets
relationship,
till
which is an
2022.
alliance
Yes, they
with
did.
the Republic of North Korea. AI is kind of a fancy thing. First of all, it's 2 letters. It means artificial intelligence. As a woman, there is a balance to be struck between being tough and being a turn that off.
So if you listen to Kamala's speeches, you'd never even know that she's been running the country. She's been running the country for 4 years and doing a horrible job. Look at what's happened to our country. We are a failing nation. I hate to say it. We are a failing nation. I wish I didn't have to do this. I wish I didn't have to go and do this. I wish they were great. I wish they'd make our country great, but they're going to destroy our country. You know it. They even know it, and probably they're doing it on purpose. It's hard to believe, but they're probably doing it on purpose. Kamala is working full-time to erase her record of open borders, transgender anything, high energy costs, taxes, interest rates, which are at sky levels, rising crime rates, and wars all over the world. We're in wars all over the world. You know, when I left, we had nothing. We had no wars. The world respected your country. We had no wars. Viktor Orban, who's the prime minister, the boss of Hungary, and knows everything very well. They asked him, what's wrong? The world is breaking out in wars all over. He said, there's one thing wrong. The United States needs Donald Trump back as president. And if you have that, you're not going, which is true. You won't have any of these problems. You won't have any of these problems. Russia would have never, ever attacked Ukraine. Israel would never have been attacked on October 7th, and you wouldn't have inflation, and you wouldn't have had the horrible Afghanistan embarrassment, the most embarrassing day, I think, in the history of our country. On Election Day, we're going to tell this radical left country buster, she's a country buster, that we've had enough. Yeah. We can't take it anymore. We're going to say, Kamala Harris, you're fired. You've done a horrible job. You're fired. Get out of here. Get out. Get the hell out of here, Kamala.
Yeah, he couldn't fuck out.
Right? If Kamala wins, foreign leaders will treat America's president as a joke. They already do. Now we have 2 jokes. Think of it. What's going to happen? Russia gets a little nasty. China, President Xi, I know him very well, got along with him very well until COVID, in which case I said, that's the end of that. But President Xi, these are fierce people. These are fierce people. They don't even know who the head of our country is. Who do we have? Are we dealing with Biden? Biden probably should get out, but Xi should get out also. I think they should both get out. I'll tell you what. Do we have a volunteer? Yes, I will volunteer, okay? We have to straighten out. We have to straighten out our country. They're not going to do it. They will rip us off more than ever before. These foreign countries are ripping us off at levels that you've never seen before. And we had them held back. Russia respected us. China respected us. I took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China. No other president took in not 10 cents. For years, they ripped us off. And our country will never be given a chance for a future. We're never going to have a future back. If we don't solve this problem now, we can't go like this any longer. We're not going to have a country any longer. When I win, we're going to win. When I win, America will be respected again because you will once again have a president who puts America first. And you have a president who will fight, fight, fight. Thank you. Thank you. For 4 incredible years under our administration, I stood up for America, and we achieved more than any administration in the history of our country. There's never been a period of time like we had for 4 years. There's never been. And then we had COVID, and we got rid of it. We never got, I got great credit for the economy, great credit for the military. We defeated ISIS rapidly. I started no wars. First time in 78 years, I started we didn't have any wars, these endless wars. They keep going and going, people getting killed all over the place, spending billions and billions. We passed the largest tax cuts and regulation cuts in the history of our country. We achieved record low unemployment rates, record low poverty rates, and rising wages for everybody. Everybody in this room, your wages increased, your money increased, your businesses increased. Whatever you do, everything was better for 4 years. We unlocked American energy independence, and soon would have been energy dominant. We were going to be energy dominant. We took on the globalists and corrupt special interests. We ended the NAFTA disaster, concealed. And think of that. We got out of TPP. Do you know what TPP? That's if you want to have manufacturing in this country, they were going to take it all away. Trans-Pacific Partnership, TPP, we took it away. We withdrew from the horrible Paris Climate Accord. It sounds so nice. I want the Montana Climate Accord, not the Paris Climate Accord. And stood up to China like never before, bringing in tens of billions of dollars. Think of it, though. No other president ever brought up. They never confronted China. And China respected us. We built 571 miles of border wall, and we took it out. We took it out of our military because Congress was impossible. So I said, we're taking it out of our military because it's an invasion of our country. That worked. They sued me all over the place. We won. We ended catch and release. We stopped asylum fraud. We brought illegal immigration to the lowest level ever recorded. That's per your chart. We fully rebuilt the U.S. military and created a thing called Space Force, which is so important. And now we are leading in space. Nobody thought that was possible. And for our great veterans, of which you have a lot in your great state, we passed VA accountability and VA choice, right? They've been trying to get them for 50 years. Accountability is you get rid of the sadists and the bad people that took advantage and harmed our heroes, our great people. They beat them up. They were sadists. They were thieves. There were a lot of bad things. We had no right under civil service and other things to fire them. If we caught them stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars, you couldn't do anything about it. I got a law passed in Congress. We got rid of 9,000 bad people and hired people that love our veterans. And then on choice, so we have some great doctors in the VA, but you couldn't get to them. It would take sometimes months. People would be a little bit ill, and they'd end up becoming terminally ill because you couldn't get to the doctors. If you had to wait more than 1 day for a doctor, I allowed you to go out, get a local doctor, get yourself taken care of, and we pay for the bill. And Steve Daines helped a lot on that. Actually, Steve, that was a great thing. And we had a 92% approval rating at the VA, the Veterans Administration, 92%. That was the highest rating ever. Now it's down into the 40s, We obliterated ISIS, and unlike Harris, we stood up and we took care of our friend Israel. We have a problem over there, big problem. We have a lot of people that are looking to destroy Israel. Look, the bottom line, we got to get peace over in the Middle East. The Middle East is blowing up largely because our country doesn't know what's happening. They have no idea what's happening. We are going to take care of it. We did the Abraham Accords. It brought peace to the Middle East. We would have had every country signed up right now. If the election weren't rigged, we would have had every single country signed up right now. And I'm proud to be the first president in decades who really, and I talk about it as much as I can because Hillary Clinton stood on the stage. They said, look at him. He's going to start wars. And I said, no. I'm going to stop the wars. You're the one that started the wars. You people, the stupid people, started the war. But I did finish the war on ISIS, and everybody said we couldn't beat ISIS, too malleable, too all over the place. Did it in 4 weeks. We knocked it out, and that's where I learned we have a great military. We don't have a woke military. We have some stupid people on the top that are woke. We have a great military. What they did for me against ISIS was incredible. 4 years ago, America's future was blazing bright, and Kamala and Crooked Joe came in and drove our country off the cliff. They've taken our country to levels. We're being laughed at all over the world. All over the world, they're laughing at America. They're laughing at your United States. But with your vote, the reign will be over. That horrible reign of, it's in a way, it's a reign of terror. You know, it's a weak reign. It's an incompetent reign. But they want to put good people in jail that shouldn't be in jail. It's a very dangerous reign, actually, and people aren't going to take it. It's a very dangerous reign led by very incompetent people. New era of strength and prosperity and freedom will soon ring true. The moment I take the oath of office, we will seal the border, stop the invasion, and send the illegal aliens back home where they belong. Right? Under the so-called border czar Harris, illegal aliens are stampeding into America by the millions and millions. They're coming from prisons. They're coming from jails. They're coming from all over the place. They're coming from countries we've never even heard of. Most of the people in this room have never heard. They're coming from some very bad places, evil places. Every day, Kamala is letting migrant criminals roam free to assault, rape, mutilate, and kill our citizens. Look at what's happening to our cities. Our cities are being overrun, and they're being taken care of, and our veterans are not being taken. Our veterans are forced to sleep on the street, and these people are given hotel rooms in luxury hotels. Right here in Bozeman, an illegal alien brutally stabbed to death a 19-year-old young man. You know all about it. And when the police searched the illegal's car, they found 3 handguns, 2 rifles, a shotgun, and a record as long as your arm. On July 4th, a 42-year-old Nashville man died after he tried to stop an illegal alien from stealing tools out of his truck. The illegal alien did a number on this man that nobody could even believe. The police officer said one of the most vicious crimes they've ever seen. He was thrown from the hood of the illegals' pickup truck and left to die in the street after being beat to hell. And last month, a Venezuelan illegal alien criminal let in by our so-called border czar. The border czar's a joke. She never went to the border. She never went to the border. Shot a female police officer in Texas multiple times with a rifle and started shooting over and over again. The choice in this election is between a mass amnesty with welfare, Social Security, and voting rights for the illegal. And they want to give illegal immigrants all of this. And here's all we're going to do. It's going to be called a Trump mass deportation because we have no choice. We have no choice. We have no choice. If Harris wins, a never-ending stream of illegal alien rapists, MS-13 animals, and child predators will ravage your communities. They're already ravaging your community. Don't forget, they haven't been here that long. They're getting used to it. When they get used to it, they're going to be coming at you at levels that nobody's ever seen before. We have a new form of crime. It's called migrant crime, and it's going to be as vicious as any crime ever seen in this country before, and it's a guarantee. In addition, we have hundreds and hundreds of terrorists in our country that have been allowed in. We didn't allow them in. We had a strong border. We had 1 year where Border Patrol actually said under Trump in 2019, 1 year, one of our 4 years, 0 terrorists. Now, I don't really believe that because I don't believe that's possible. But they have it down as a 0. 0 terrorists were able to get into our country. Now we have hundreds and hundreds of people coming in, thousands of people coming in, and these are the world's worst terrorists. And it's 100% certain that really bad things are going to happen. So we don't have a choice. Vote Republican, and we will begin the largest deportation operation in American history. And I don't say that with fondness. I don't even know. I don't say that I don't even know if that's good politics or bad politics. People would say, oh, Trump is too tough. We don't like him. We don't like him. He's taking murderers out of our country, but we don't like him. He shouldn't be taking murderers out of our country. The truth is, Dwight Eisenhower, he was a sort of a moderate type of guy, General Eisenhower. He was president. Do you know when he was president, he was the strongest president in history outside of what we did, the strongest in history on the border. He hated when people came into our country illegally. And we want people to come into our country, but they have to come in through a process. They have to come in legally. We want people. Harris has let them all in, and we will send them all back. We have to send them back to their countries. Their country, when I came in, we had a lot of MS-13 gang members. They're probably the toughest gang in the world, really ruthless people. And I came in, I said, we got to get them out. I told one of the generals, sir, they won't let us have them in. Under President Obama, the countries where they came from, Honduras and Guatemala and all over the place they come, from South America in this case, the countries said, we're not letting them back in. And they would put major aircraft, big aircraft, on the runway. So if we were coming in with a plane, you couldn't land, they'd come back. They blocked up the road. So if we bust them in, if we took them in by ship, any way we took them in, they wouldn't let them back. So the general told me that, sir, I'm sorry, we can't get them back. They'll never take them back. They don't want them back. MS-13 gang members, who can blame them, right? So I said, how much money do we pay them? He goes, sir, we pay them $750 million a year. Sir? I said, all right, inform the countries that they're delinquent. They're not taking their criminals back. They're sending criminals in. They send them in the caravans. They put some really bad types in the caravans, and they pour in by the thousands, that we're not paying them anymore. We're ending it on day one. I signed a document. The next day, I come into the beautiful Oval Office, so beautiful, resolute desk. I sit down. Sir, we have a call from Guatemala. Sir, we have a call from Mexico. We have all these calls, and they call and they wanted to know, sir, we understand there's a misunderstanding. I said, no, why? There's no misunderstanding. You're sending your criminals into our country and you're not taking them back. And I'm not paying you anymore. You're not getting any more subsidy from the United States of America. And they all said the same thing. The calls came in early in the morning. They all said the same thing. Sir, there must be a misunderstanding. There's a misunderstanding, sir. We would love to have MS-13 back in our country. We love them very much, sir. They're wonderful people. And we took tens of thousands. We took thousands and thousands out. Believe it or not, there were a lot on Long Island. You read the story where they killed two beautiful 16-year-old girls walking to school, and they killed them with a knife. They sliced them up into little pieces. You know why? Because that's much more painful than getting shot. And they wanted to, what they did, they were animals. And you know who took care of it? ICE. And all of these people like Kamala, they want to abandon ICE. They want to drop ICE. These guys are so incredible. They're brave. I know some of the people in the front row, and they're really tough guys, and they're brave guys, and I know them pretty well. They don't want to work for ICE. ICE would get in, they'd get up to the gangs in Ohio and a lot of them in New York, and amazing, as I said, in Long Island, and they'd walk into a gang of 15 of the toughest guys you've ever seen, and you'd see fists and feet and back and forth, and it would go on for 3-4 minutes. And then the ICE guys would get up and they'd take these guys into a paddy wagon, put them in, and would bring them back to their country. And then she wants to get rid of ICE. These are incredible patriots. They're tough people, and they love our country as much as anybody, and maybe more than most. One of the most sinister accomplices in Kamala's plot to demolish American borders has been her ally and partner in the U.S. Senate, one of the biggest phonies in American politics. His name is Jon Tester. And I don't speak badly about somebody's physical disability, but he's got the biggest stomach I have ever seen, I swear. I swear. That's the biggest stomach. I have never seen a stomach like that. Because he doesn't look that heavy. You're not allowed to use the word fat. So if you use the word fat, You can say obese, you can say anything, but you can't say fat. That's the end of your political career. I said it the other night. Somebody in the audience said, Chris Christie is a fat pig. And I said, sir, Chris Christie is not a fat pig. You should not. And we argued about it for 3 or 4 minutes. So that was, no, he's not a fat pig. For years, Tester has been telling Montana that he's a moderate while he votes with Biden, Harris, and Bernie Sanders, and Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas. You remember Pocahontas? Pocahontas, I have more Indian blood in me than she has in her, and I have none. I happen to have none. But Kamala votes with them 100% of the time. Did you know that, Steve? 100% of the time. I promise you, Tim will not be voting 100%. He may vote with them 0. I would say 0 would be close. But in a 50-50 Senate, Tester could have single-handedly stopped the invasion of our country, but he voted against stopping it. Instead, Tester voted for mass amnesty. He voted against the border wall, totally voted against the wall. Who the hell would vote against the wall? He voted against remain in Mexico. Remember, I had the policy, the greatest policy of all. You couldn't come into our country, you had to remain. They had hundreds of thousands of people that came up from the South. Hundreds of thousands, they couldn't get into our country. He ended it. And these people came in. You think it was easy to get that deal with Mexico? It was very tough. I had to say, I'm going to put a lot of tariffs on it. Either give it to me or not. They were very nice. It was amazing. They wouldn't give it to me. They said, no, sir, we won't do that. I said, all right, I'm going to tariff your cars at 100%. Sir, we'd love to give you that. We would love a policy of remain in Mexico. We think it's wonderful. You had to see Tijuana. Tijuana was the fastest growing city in the history of the world. They were having hundreds of thousands of people pour into Tijuana, but they couldn't come into our country because I said to Mexico, you can stop them. You can stop them at your southern border, down below. And you know those caravans, I think I came up with that name, but they are a caravan. They're very horrible, very dangerous for women, very dangerous. Women die all the time. They're being raped. They're dying. The whole thing is a horror show.
Oh, Lord.
He voted against Title 42. That's a bad one. He voted against increasing funding for ICE. He voted to provide the deciding vote to shield illegal alien criminals like the one who murdered Laken Riley from deportation. He didn't want the person deported. He didn't want any deportation for that person.
Deportated.
If you elect John Tester, you are approving the Harris plan to make the 20 million Biden illegals into voting citizens. She said today she wants to give them the right to vote. Many of these people are killers and criminals. They're not going to have the right to vote, and they're not going to destroy our country. She also voted to give them welfare, government health care, and let them raid Medicare and Social Security until there's nothing left. They will destroy Social Security. I will save your Social Security with no increase in age or anything else.
Okay.
John Tester cast the decisive vote to approve every single bill that caused record inflation. Remember the Inflation Reduction Act? It was a phony. They used the term inflation reduction. It was actually an Inflation Increase Act. It was a disaster, but they lied because that's what they're good at. They're con people. You know what they are? Misinformation, disinformation. After they got the bill passed, which they shouldn't have had, trillions of dollars, inflation went through the roof. He cast a vote to kill the Keystone XL pipeline. Do you remember that? The Keystone X. What the hell are these reporters doing over here? What? Oh, Pulitzer Prize winner. Doug Mills, the great Doug Mills, Pulitzer Prize. Even though he works for the New York Times, that's okay. He works for the New York Times, and that's one of the only Pulitzer Prizes that was actually earned. How about they got this woman, Maggot Hagerman. Did you ever hear of it? Maggot Hagerman. She's a reporter. She pretends like she knows more about Trump. I have nothing to do. If the woman speaks to me once in a year, today I called her. I said, Your stories are all fake. Why don't you stop it? But think of it. They have a man here who I really like. He's a great photographer. Doug, it's nice to have you. Make me look nice and thin if you don't mind. He voted for environmental extremist Tracy Stone Manning to lead the Bureau of Land Management, and he voted the radical left Interior Secretary, Deb Haaland, you know who that is, don't you? To wage war on your rights and on your industries, and they really did wage war. But we have a man here, and I'm going to introduce some of your people. We have a man here who knows Tester better than I do, better than anybody does. And Tester and I have nothing to do with each other. And when you watch his commercials, you can forget it. He never votes for me. He voted to impeach me. That guy voted to impeach me, stomach brimming out like a big slob. Do you want to? I want to impeach. Why? I don't know. What did he do wrong? I did nothing wrong. But I have to tell you, the Republicans stuck with me, and we won very easily. We beat it. But there's a man named Ronnie Jackson. He comes from Texas, and he heard it was a race against Tester, and he was treated so unfairly. Could I ask Congressman, Admiral, Doctor? He's a doctor. He was my White House doctor. He was Obama's White House doctor and Bush's White House doctor. He was also an admiral. So he was an admiral and a doctor. Then he became the doctor in the White House. And you know when I fell in love with him? They said, who's the healthiest? He took care of Bush, Obama. Did anybody ever hear of Barack Hussein Obama? Yes. Took care of Obama, and he took care of Trump. And they said, who's the healthiest of those presidents? And he said, without question, it's Donald J. Trump. And I said, I love this guy. Ronnie Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. Howdy, Montana from the great state of Texas. All right. Look, I want to tell you a little bit about this man, Jon Tester. This man who says that he represents Montana in the Senate. This man who tells you that he's up there trying to clean the place up and trying to fix what's broken. This man is a sleazy, disgusting swamp politician. He's a fraud and he's a liar. I was in the Navy for 25 years. For 25 years, I was on active duty serving my country. I was an emergency medicine physician, right? I went to Iraq with the United States Marine Corps to a surgical shock trauma platoon on the battlefield between Fallujah and Ramadi. I spent the last 14 years of my career in the Navy on active duty at the White House, serving 3 presidential administrations and taking care of 3 presidents, including the best president this country's ever had, Donald J. Trump. Okay. I had a spotless, flawless career in the Navy. I'd never had a single complaint about anything. I was a Navy Rear Admiral. And at the end of my time in the military, while I was still on active duty, President Trump had the trust and confidence in me to nominate me as the Secretary of Veterans Affairs, which I was happy to. However, let me tell you, Jon Tester, at that time, was the ranking member on the Senate Veterans Affairs Committee. He was going to oversee that process. He was also up for re-election. It was 2018. He decided that it was in his political best interest and would help his election if he could come out and be the guy that tore down one of Donald Trump's cabinet nominees. He came after me. He tried to destroy me. He tried to destroy my family. He got together with some disgruntled employees that worked for me at the White House who were upset because they didn't get promoted or get something they wanted during their time at the White House. One of them, in fact, is currently Joe Biden's doctor. They got together with him and his staff, and they made up completely absurd accusations and lies about me to tear down my nomination. They said that he labeled me on TV as the candy man, right? He said that I was recklessly prescribing narcotics. I can tell you, I can count right here on this hand right here how many times I prescribed narcotics at the White House in 14 years. He put that out there. He said that I got drunk and wrecked the government vehicle. any two-bit investigator can figure out whether or not that happened. He knew it didn't happen. He knew it. And it's been proven that it didn't happen since then. He did not care. He was going to destroy me to better his career. And he passed that information to these morons in the back, right? The mainstream media, who were all too willing to carry this water. And let me tell you, they don't work for you. They work for swamp creatures like Jon Tester. That's who they work for. Anyways, look, this man tried to destroy me. He tried to destroy my family. I've been waiting for 6 years to get back here for this night, to be with this man right here, to come after him. The end of Jon Tester starts tonight. And it starts by bringing this man back to the White House so that he can continue the work that he did draining the swamp when he was the president before. He's the best president we've ever had, and he's the only one that can do the job now. So get him back into office. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring Tim Sheehy to the Senate to replace this swamp hippopotamus, Jon Tester. So I want to thank you all for coming out and for showing your support and your willingness to help us take this country back. We've got 87 days left. Let's get it done.
Great job. Great job. Other than that, he likes him very much. But I was a part, I maybe blame myself. I said to her, he was a great admiral, highly respected in the Navy. He was a great White House doctor. So you have two, you have leadership and you have the doctor. So I figured, what's better for the VA? So I went to Ronnie and I said, Ronnie, what do you think of the possibility of you running the VA? You're a great leader. You're a great admiral, highly respected in the Navy. A war veteran, everything. He had everything you could have. And on top of that, he's a great doctor, a great man, a great personality. Everyone loves him. And, you know, I went to him, I said, what do you think? And he didn't want it. He said, sir, I'd rather not, but he's an incredible patriot. He said, but if you want me to do it, because he was ready to retire and go on to move to Texas and do whatever he was going to do. He said, if you want me to do it, sir, I'll do it. He didn't want to do it. Everybody else would want it. But he really would have preferred not. I said, Ronnie, you know, I did him such a great favor. Ronnie, you'll be great. So I let it out that I'd like to put Ron. I didn't even put it out officially. I let it out to the fake news. I said, I'd like to put Ronnie in as the head of the Veterans Administration. And that's when Tester hit. And it was vicious. It was vicious. It was really. And I didn't even say it. You know, I mean, after it happened, I said, Ronnie, it's really unfair. And, you know, they sent out people, and we did too, to investigate every charge this slob made. And every charge was totally false. And he has an incredible family, an incredible wife. He has a son. I was making the commencement address at Annapolis. His son was one of the best students at Annapolis, right at the top of the class. And I had to look at the son. And I had to say, what they're doing to your father is really unfair. This is one of the finest men you'll ever see. And that Jon Tester couldn't have cared less. He just wanted publicity for himself. And it's a disgrace. You have to defeat Jon Tester. I'm telling you, you have to defeat. You have to do it. And when Ronnie heard what I was doing, he said, oh, you're going to Montana. Does that have anything to do with Tester? I said, actually, it does. We're trying. He said, may I go? He was in Texas. So he had to travel longer than I did. But Ronnie Jackson's one of the finest men, and it was a shame, and really a shame. And you ought to get rid of that guy's bad news. Montana, you've got to do it, and you're going to do it. And I want to bring up, if I could, you heard him just for a second, because I want to shake his hand. He's a spectacular person. He was picked by Steve Daines and a group of people. We were looking for perfection because we didn't want any excuses. The fact that he's handsome should have nothing to do with it, but he is a handsome guy. but he's got everything. He's highly successful, great education, Purple Heart recipient, a former Navy SEAL, which, as you know, is a big deal. It's a tough thing to be. A combat veteran at the highest level, a Bronze Star, and he's got his really is valor. It's a Valor for Heroism Award. You know, the other one talks about valor. He has a different kind of a valor. It's the opposite. But Tim Sheehy is going to be an outstanding senator. He was a great businessman, an aerospace company. He started it in a barn in Montana, right here. Employed a lot of people, turned it into a big success. And I'd like to ask, just to say a few words real quickly, Tim Sheehy, you've got to vote for him. Thank you. Tim, come on up.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's an honor to have you here. You know, listen, I always supported the Trump policies. I never knew the man, but I supported the policies, no question. But I became a true follower of his about 4 years ago. For those of us who fought in the Middle East, we knew who we were really fighting the whole time. It was Iran. They were murdering us. They've been murdering Americans for 45 years. They were blowing us up with EFPs. They were sending their hit teams across the border and killing us so we could never cross back over and get them. We could never touch them. It was a one-way fight. And in the Obama years, those of you who were there, you know, our hands were tied. I had to watch these guys get killed and sent home in boxes, and we couldn't do anything about it. And that was so frustrating. It made me sick. And a few years ago, when we were fighting ISIS, Trump told the Iranians, don't touch any Americans. We're here to fight ISIS. You touch one hair on an American's head, we're going to kill you. And they didn't believe him. And they didn't believe him. And then they launched some rockets at some Americans up at Balad. And we lost a couple. And Trump didn't hesitate. The next day, he dropped a bomb on that son of a bitch, Qasem Soleimani, and blew him to pieces. He blew him to pieces. And I told the president in person the first time we met, I said, listen, you may endorse me or not, you may support me or not, but I'll tell you one thing. You will always have my loyalty because you're the guy that dropped the bomb on that son of a bitch, Soleimani, and you'll always have your back for that. But listen, Biden, Harris, Waltz, whatever you want to call them, they are selling you out every single day. They are selling out hardworking Americans. They are taking your money out of your pocket and giving it to illegal immigrants. They're taking money out of your pocket and sending billions of dollars of it overseas to other countries while you're going broke. Our gas prices have doubled and tripled. Inflation's through the roof. Your life is worse off because the policies of this administration that John Tester has voted for every single time are killing America. So this fall, we got to send Donald Trump back to the White House and John Tester back to Big Sandy.
Great job. Thank you, Tim. Thank you very much, Tim. And I have to say, Tim stands for very strong borders, all the things that we want. He wants strong borders, a very strong military, low taxes, low inflation. But more importantly than anything else, he wants to make America great again. He's going to do it. We're going to do it together. Also with us tonight, and I said it before, he's a special man, Senator Steve Daines. You're lucky to have him. He's an unbelievable, respected by everybody. And it's an honor to have him as a friend. And he wanted to do this race. He said, we have to do this race. We have to take control of the Senate and the House. We're going to do the House. We're going to do the Senate. And this is the answer right here. This is the one seat. We do this seat, we're going to win the Senate. So important. And Tim, you're going to be great. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. Steve, you're a fantastic man. Kids, you have a great father. Take good care of your father, okay? I mean that. And I alluded to it before. He's a fantastic guy, a friend of mine. I was one of the earliest to endorse him. Greg Gianforte, your governor. He's been respected by everybody. Greg, please. Please, thank you. A representative who has been absolutely a fantastic guy. He's a tough cookie. He's a great fighter. He has every military record you can have. Ryan Zinke. He's running for Congress again. Good luck, Ryan. You're going to do great. Thank you. I saw some good poll numbers on you today. That's very nice. And Ronnie Jackson, thank you for that speech you made. That was beautiful. And nobody could have done it nobody could do it like you. He knows this guy better than anybody, unfortunately. It was my fault, Ronnie. I shouldn't have done it. I should have said, Ronnie, enjoy your life. I had to say, come on, Ronnie. Then I tell these horrible people back there, it's going to be Ronnie, oh boy. But you know what he did? He came back and he said, I'm going to run for Congress. And he ran and he won. And he won big, big. All right. That's pretty good. Think of it. You're a great doctor, become the White House doctor. You're a great admiral, you're doing great. Then you decide, hey, I'm going to run for Congress. So you have Congress, you have doctor, you have admiral. Who the hell has a career like that? That's pretty good. That beats all of us. Tim, that beats all of us, I think. Former acting attorney general and a friend of mine, Matt Whitaker. Thank you, Matt. Thank you very much. Great job. Your auditor. Oh, that's good because you have a lot of money here. Troy Downing. Thank you very much, Troy. Great job. Secretary of State, Christy Jacobson. Christy, thank you. Good job. You have my endorsement. She's got my endorsement. They both do. I'm giving you my endorsement now. This way I don't have to go home and write it out. Is that okay? She has my endorsement, complete and total endorsement. Your great Attorney General, Austin Knudsen. Thank you, Austin. Great, beautiful family. Great family. State Party Chair, Don Carlschmidt. Where's Don? Don, thank you very much. Good job you're doing. They're all doing well, right? They're doing well, Don. You're doing a great job. RNC Chairman Michael Watley, very powerful man. Michael, thank you. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Michael. What he's got one function. We don't need the votes. He's going to stop the steal. He's going to stop the steal. He's going to make sure that those votes are properly counted. You ever hear things like this? You vote 2 months early and you need more time. We want to go back to one-day voting and paper ballots. Very simple. Very simple. But he did a great job. He was the head of the Republican Party in North Carolina when those other states were being robbed and rigged. That guy held so true, and he's going to do it with. He had 603 lawyers working, and other guys just said, "Oh, you can never take it for granted with these people, because they do something very, very well. You know what that is? They cheat. That's what they is." And in the audience is a man that I gave a pardon to, and I'm very proud. Would you stand up, please? Stand up with a beautiful hat on, right there. Yeah, stand up. I was very honored. Handsome guy, too. And people were very happy with that. You were happier than anybody, but it was my honor to do it. Thank you very much. And one of our greatest golfers in the history of, I'm a golfer, I love golf. This guy is a major golfer. He's a major friend of mine, one of the best ever. They knighted him in England or in UK, and he just knew how to win. He could take people and he'd play the best players in the world, and they always folded in front of him. In fact, I think I'm going to bring him into government because we like to get other people to fold. And his nickname is Faldo, but he's really, because he makes everyone, but his name is Faldo. Nick Faldo and his beautiful wife, Lindsay. Where is Nick? Where is Nick? That guy can play golf. He's won 6 majors and many, many tournaments, and he's one of the greatest ever. So thank you very much. It's an honor as a golfer. I don't know how many. Does anybody play golf? Did anybody ever hear of Nick Faldo? Yeah, they heard. Thank you very much, Nick. It's an honor. You are a piece of work, I'll tell you. He's a tough cookie, too. You talk about a tough cookie, that's a tough cookie. From the moment we take back the White House from Kamala and Crooked Joe, I believe we're going to have the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. Starting on day 1, we will end inflation and make America affordable again. To bring down the prices of all goods, we will stop the Biden-Harris war on American energy, and we will drill, baby, drill. We're going to bring them way down. That's what caused the inflation. Their stupid energy policies caused the inflation. I will terminate the Green New Scam, deliver historic regulation cuts, and I will end the Biden-Harris electric vehicle mandate on day one. You want to have a gasoline-propelled car, or if you want a hybrid, or if you want an electric car, it's great. But you can have your choice. Whatever you want, you're going to have your choice. That's the way it should be. We will pass massive tax cuts for workers, and that includes no tax on tips, as I said. We're going to stop outsourcing, demand a level playing field for the American worker, and turn the United States into the manufacturing superpower of the world. We had it going so beautifully, and then these stupid people came along and ended it. We're going to be the manufacturing superpower of the world, and we can do it so easy. We're going to rebuild our cities into beacons of hope and safety and beauty, better than they have ever been before, and we will end the migrant crime epidemic, demolish the foreign drug cartels. We are going to demolish those cartels. We're going to crush gang violence, support our police, and lock up violent offenders behind bars. And we are going to straighten out the crime in our cities. We are going to straighten out the crime in our country. We're going to get it done fast. We will deport pro-Hamas radicals and make our college campuses safe and patriotic again. You see what's happening. And before I even arrive at the Oval Office, I will have the horrible war between Russia and Ukraine settled. I will restore peace through strength. That's what I did. We had no wars. Think of it. No wars. No wars during the Trump administration, Steve. In my next term, we will build a great Iron Dome missile defense shield over our country, a dome like has never been seen before, and it will be entirely made in the USA, including Montana. And unlike Biden, who's destroying Social Security and so many other things, I will not cut 1 cent from Social Security. I will not raise the age, which they want to do. They're destroying Social Security and Medicare by allowing all of these people to come in on the plan. You earned it. You deserve it. We're going to preserve it for you just the way it is. Thank you. And as you know, I kept my promise for 4 years, and I will keep my promise very easily again. And seniors, as I said, will not pay taxes on their Social Security. That's a big deal. On day one, I will sign a new executive order to cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, transgender insanity, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content onto the lives of our children. We're not going to do it. I will not give 1 penny to any school that has a vaccine mandate or a mask mandate. Right? Right? And I will keep men out of women's sports, if that's okay. See, Nick, at least in golf, you know, they got a putt, right? Maybe in golf they have a little chance, but not much. No, I don't see it. I know you too well. I don't see them playing against you. But the women golfers are doing very well. But what do you think, Nick? You keep men out of women's sports? You think that's okay? I think so, huh? Mm-hmm. I think so. I will fully uphold the Second Amendment. We will protect innocent life, and we will restore free speech in our country. And I will secure our elections. Our goal will be one-day voting with paper ballots, proof of citizenship, and a thing called voter ID. They don't want voter ID. Why don't they want voter ID? You know, we start off with voter ID and they say we don't want. You know why? Because they want to cheat. There's only one reason you don't want identification. You want to cheat. The radical left Democrats rigged the presidential election in 2020. We will not let them rig the presidential election in 2024. Not going to let them rig it. And we want to do this as a landslide. We're doing great in the polls, and so is Tim. We want to do this as a landslide, and the one way you win, guaranteed, no matter what they do, it's called, we want to win too big to rig. Too big to rig. Too big to rig. Gets too big, and they just say, oh, we can't do it. We can't do it. They got us. Too many votes. We have a lot of votes. So get your friends, get your family, and get out and vote in numbers. And America, I tell you what, like numbers that you've never seen before. I think that's going to happen. I think we're going to have the greatest election victory in the history of our country.
Okay, that's a tall order.
And to help ensure election integrity, go to protectthevote.com. Protectthevote.com. So in conclusion, from Big Fork to Billings, from Glendive to Great Falls, and from Big Sky to right here in Bozeman, this state was built by some of the toughest men and strongest women ever to walk the face of the earth. Montana is the land of cowboys and cattle hands, ranchers and farmers, frontiersmen and soldiers, adventurers and pioneers who charged into the wilderness, scaled the Rockies, trekked through the ice and snow, and carved out a life in one of the most beautiful places in all of God's creation. It's true. I saw that. So true. I mean, it's so true. All of that driving today, there's no place more beautiful than this. Together they built this state. They helped make America into the single greatest nation in the history of the world. But now we are a nation in decline. We're a failing nation. We are a nation that has lost its confidence, lost its willpower, and lost its strength. We are a nation that has quite simply lost its way. But we are not going to allow this horror to continue. Less than 4 years ago, we were a great nation, and we will soon be a great nation again. It's going to go quickly. With our leadership, every disaster Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have created can be fixed, and it can be fixed quickly. It's going to have to be fixed quickly. We don't have time. Every problem can be solved and every wrong can be rectified. By this time next year, America's borders will be strong, sealed, and secure. Promise. Inflation will be in full retreat. Our economy will be roaring back. Optimism will be surging. The American dream, which you never hear about anymore, will be thriving again for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. Law and justice will reign all throughout our land. Freedom will be restored. The flame of liberty will be burning bright. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, the worst administration in the history of our country, will be a fading memory of the past. And our great silent majority, including the once forgotten men and women of our country, will be the one shaping America's magnificent future when I am the 47th President of the United States. Because we are all Americans, and together we will show November 5th to be the most important day in the history of America. November 5th, Election Day, and that period will be the most important day and period in the history of our country. Our country will be greater than ever before. You have to remember November 5th and mark it down, the most important day in history. Because we are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. And together, we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. We will make America free again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, Montana. Thank you. Vote for Tim. Thank you very much.
Montana. We've had a great evening with President Trump running.
All righty, y'all. So we have heard from Donald Trump this evening. He is, I don't know about y'all, but it seems like these speeches get longer and longer. But he's still spitting them facts. He didn't, Derek. He actually did not talk about abortion because he said, as far as he's concerned, it's a non-issue. He said it was a non-issue, so he wasn't even gonna get into it. So yeah, he did not speak on that. He spoke about that deportation though. He said it got to happen because we got to be free over here in America. We got to be free. But yeah, so y'all, we've been on here about 4 hours. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. I will let y'all know when the next event, press conference, whatever he got going on will be. Definitely tune in tomorrow. Again, we are providing fair and balanced coverage. We will be taking a look at current vice president and current Democratic presidential nominee. Well, I don't know if you can call it anyway. She gonna be representing Democrats in the election. Kamala Harris and her running mate Tim Walz, because I want to see if he is gonna respond to these numerous interviews that I have seen by people who were in his I guess his battalion or squad or whatever when he was in the military, supposedly in the military doing all this fighting. They said his ass wasn't there. So yeah, I want to see if he's gonna respond to that. So again, make sure your notifications are active. We will be taking a look at the two of them. They were currently in Phoenix today, so we will take a look at that tomorrow. Again, I do appreciate each and every one of you for stopping by. You guys get some sleep. Have a good night. I will see y'all tomorrow. And again, I do appreciate all of your support.